Welcome to Saturday Night Roasting, a product of the Roadrunner Swirl to Investment Network. Hope you enjoy. Let's get to the roasting. Hello, everyone. Good to see you on a Sunday, Saturday night roasting on a Sunday. Um, I didn't have time to change it to Sunday night roasting. Um, okay, tonight. Okay. There's sometimes I get these dusty dumplings that they don't like what I say. They don't like seeing interracial couples. They don't like, especially black women, white men. Okay, and I get attacked every now and then, and I just don't know why people don't do their thing, mind their own business. But being on YouTube, it's like you're going to get people that disagree. You're going to get people that come in on you and say things about you, and I'm okay with disagreement. I'm okay with people, uh, you know, not believing like I do. That's fine. Um, and sometimes you get in these beefs, and and a lot of times these dusty dumplings, I call them dusty dumplings because they got a female energy to them. They don't just go in on me. It's not like a man to man thing. It's like I don't like you and what you're saying, so I'm going to attack you, your wife, your family, and there's just uncalled for. It just makes there's no maturity to it. There's no honor. There's one thing you'll never catch me doing is going in on somebody's wife or husband that I'm having a beef with, or I don't do that. I don't attack family members. But of course, I've had home training. And this joker I'm going to talk about, he has no home training. Okay? He comes from a hateful place. He's a black segregationist. Okay? Call it like it is. He's one of these Hotep dudes. Okay? I think he's like a Pan African, but he hates white people and he hates interracial relationships. But newsflash, they're going to happen more and more. And, it's supposed to happen. But, people can do what they want. They can go where they want to go. Okay. There's one thing I do not do. I don't shame people for who they love and where they go. Okay. I don't do that. I want every relationship to work. And I want our country to come together, black, white, and everybody else, right? As one nation. That's what I want. I think segregation is an evil thing that we need to get away from. Okay. I think it's one thing that will definitely destroy our country, our nation. Okay. And but some people believe we got to separate by races, and you know, but people can believe what they want. But one thing I don't like, and one thing I will never do, is attack people's family. Okay, that is just wrong. That is disgusting, and it shows that you're lacking as a man when you do that. It shows that you have no character. And like I said, no home training. Okay, and this here, okay, I'm going to show you kind of a picture of this clown. All right, and all right, get on here. All right, and here's this clown. Okay, I'm going to show you this picture. Okay, I call him Gil Nerdywood. He's a Hotep hobo. Um, he comes on there. He's got he wears these big bug glasses. Kind of looks like a fly. Looks like something he got from his grandmother's. His grandmother's glasses, and he goes in on white people with racial slurs, and he don't hold back. He makes it clear what he thinks about you and interracial relationships. Okay. And that's a cartoon version. The cartoon version looks better than the real thing. Okay. But that's who I'm going to talk about. I might also talk about our buddy, the Doctor of Delusion, Dr. Umar. Okay. And in the segregated community, we also have what I call Ken Crinkle Clan Boy, which is David Duke, the segregator. Okay. And these are some cartoons I made of these clowns. All right. And before I start, I want to give the copyright disclaimer, fair use. Okay. And we're going to use this video for educational purpose to debunk myths and propaganda and to tell the truth. Okay. And that's what I'm going to do. All right. So if you need to see that again, just rewind, but fair use. Okay. Okay. Let me see here before I begin. Um, people get upset with me because sometimes I'll use black men, and show a video to make a point. I'll use black women videos, white men, white women, just whoever, right? And I do that to get people's opinions on things. And in the past, I've used Malcolm X, the speech he gave about protecting black women. Okay. And the reason I do that is because what he said makes sense. We need to protect black women, right? Black women are in danger more than any other group of women. Okay. And I'm going to show you some videos of that, of black femicide that's going on. Okay. And, whose responsibility is it to protect black women? Well, us as men, it's all our responsibilities. Whether we're dating black women, whether we're in a relationship, that don't matter. We protect women, and black women are the most vulnerable in our country. I I hate to say that, but it's the honest to God truth. We're not protecting black women, okay, and we need to. All right, and uh, some of these pro-black groups and some black men say, Roadrunner should not be using a Malcolm X video. Okay, a white man has no right to do that. And you know what? I got to be respectful. Okay. I'm not trying to offend nobody. And, you know, it, I'm not one that don't listen. Okay. You tell me something, I'll take it in consideration. You know what? I got to be respectful, guys. I want to show the video, but hey, he was a black man, a black civil rights leader. And, so what I'm going to do is in honor, okay, in honor of those that protect black women, okay, and I'm going to give a shout out to the white men out there that love black women and that are doing right by black women and taking their swirl to investment and know what it means to protect the black woman. I'm going to show this in honor of you. I'm going to show this video in honor of black women and white men that come together with true love and take their swirl to investment. And we need to protect black women. Okay. So with all the utmost respect, I'm going to show Brother Malcolm in his speech back in the 60s. Take a look.
Respected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And as Muslims, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to respect our women and to protect our women. And the only time a Muslim really gets real violent is when someone goes to molest his woman. We will kill you for our woman. I'm making it plain, yes. We will kill you for our woman. We believe that if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men.
Did you catch that? He's actually giving a shout out to white men protecting their women. And he's telling black men, you need to do the same. Okay? And protection of black women is everybody's responsibility. All men, whether you date them, marry them, or not. Okay? I take this serious. And all you dusty dumplings that are caught in your feelings about me showing this video, because I'm a white guy, I don't care. I'm going to show it because it is truth. And us as men, we need to listen to what he's saying. We need to protect black women. And I'm all for it. And instead of being a little dusty dumpling and getting caught in your feelings because I'm showing the video, I guess I'm not allowed. Yes, I am allowed. Sorry. Instead of getting caught in your feelings, how about this? You stand with me to protect black women. Let's unite. All men in America, we stand up and we protect black women. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, let's protect black women. How about that part? All right, let's continue.
Until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women.
Okay. All right. Now I play that video because it makes sense. We do need to protect black women. Okay? And look, it's all our responsibility. Okay? We need to get out of that segregated mindset. Well, okay, white guy, you can't use black people. Well, shut up. Okay? If they make sense, if they're on point, I'll use it. And I tell you what, if you want to use an Abraham Lincoln speech for your video, you got my blessing. Okay? Do it. Okay? I get so many people mad because I use Malcolm X's video. Like, really? I could see if I was up here, degrading him, but I'm honoring his speech. It makes sense. Protect black women. What's the problem? Don't you want white men to do right and protect black women? I mean, seriously, I don't get it. But anyway, okay. But that's what people talk about. They're more worried about, I guess it's none of my business. I can only talk about white men. Yeah, okay. And that's the problem we have. We need, when people say something right, we need to put it up there. When people are doing the right thing, honor them. Okay. When people are doing wrong, hold them accountable. Okay. All right. But anyway, let's get to the video at hand. Okay. And this circus clown, Gil Nerdywood Jr. Okay. Uh, the name has been changed somewhat to protect the guilty. Okay. This racist scumbag, I kind of protect. I'm not putting his real name out there. Okay. But he is a nerdy dude. He is a beta dumpling. And, this guy went in and did a reaction on my video without permission, of course. And not only did he attack me, he attacked my wife. And something crazy about these beta dumplings, they have no shame and they have no accountability. I did some reaction videos and, we'll go through it while we watch his reaction on me. And anything I showed, there's no accountability. It was always the white man's fault. It was never the black man, even when it came to unaliving people. And that's what I have a problem with. See, without accountability, we cannot improve. Without accountability, we can't move forward. We can't be better because it's never our fault if we don't have accountability. And then you don't have accountability, you have no shame. And you just do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, there are consequences. Okay. So let's go ahead and show this video. Okay. Okay, this guy, let me stop here. This was a video that was really cloudy. I was having trouble with the internet. And this wasn't the best video. I barely got the stream going. But anyway, let's continue on his reaction. Okay, and if you look what he's saying, Hotep and welcome, his name, channel, whatever, the Roadrunner and his.
I'm not gonna play. I will not play the whole video. I'm not gonna play the whole video, but I'm just gonna skip a lot of it. Let me put up my disclaimer because I don't want to make him feel that I'm stealing his garbage.
You are stealing it, and you need my garbage to see my garbage is much better than your best content. But anyway, you've been on 6 years. Your biggest video has 2,000 views. So who's really got the garbage? Okay. Okay, go ahead, Nerdwood. Dang. Okay, while he's thinking.
This way. I should do it this way, huh? Yeah, I'll do it this way. So as you can see, he sound kind of slow. I don't think he's mentally stable. But he claimed that he's so successful, and I'll let y'all be the judge of it. I'll let y'all see, what y'all think. Y'all.
Okay, see there, he attacks me. I'm slow, and I claim to be so successful. I do pretty good. I'm not rich or nothing, but I do have success. thanks to the love of my wife, a black woman that's always had my back. So yeah, I do claim that. But he's going to call me slow. But you listen to him, and you'll see some slowness in this joker.
I could put whatever how you feel in the comment, because this is I was getting pissed off.
Yeah, of course you were
pissed off, because I will debate this dude, because he will have to answer me some questions.
First of all, I don't have to answer a damn thing to you. Okay, I don't know who this clown thinks he is. And what are you going to debate me with? Slavery, Jim Crow, stuff I had nothing to do with and I can't control? That's what he would debate me on. He wouldn't debate me on what's going on in the real world.
And we've been told this so many times, right? I was told this my whole life. They didn't buy off on that. They just wanted me to have a good wife. They didn't care what color she was, right?
What's up, Brother Bakari? How you doing, brother? Shout out to King Bakari, one of the great scholars. You know what I'm saying? One of the most powerful brother that I know. Shout out to you, King. Yeah, man, I had to do this video, Brother Bakari, man, because this guy was. I had to address his foolishness, and I hope this white guy debate me. I hope he see this video, and I hope we can have a debate. That's what I want. I want to debate these racist white people who claim they love.
And see, he calls me racist. It's in the playbook, because you don't like to see me with a black woman. You don't like to see white men successful with black women. So what do? They call us racist. It's the playbook. If they can't compete in today's world, they refer to racism. Then they'll go into slavery, Jim Crow, all that stuff. I know the playbook. Automatically call me racist. Why? Because I love black women. I mean, racism is a term that don't mean anything it used to be. Racism means anything anymore. It's used so much they diluted the meaning of what racism really is. And this guy says all white people are racist. So me just being white in his eyes is just racist. So, I mean, but let's hear what he has to say.
Our women, or they love our brothers. I want to debate these Neanderthals. It's time.
There again, attack words, Neanderthal, not human. Okay, attacking my race. Okay, but I'm the racist because I said I love black women. Okay.
To destroy them through intellectually. So let's hear his foolishness. Can you hear him? Just press 1 in the chat if you can hear, if you heard what he said. Just press 1 in the chat if you heard what he said.
Okay, this guy is kind of slow on reacting to my video. I don't know if he's having technical difficulties or.
Play this again.
But that wasn't my best video because I was having internet problems, so he didn't get a real good quality video, which he stole. He calls it garbage, but my garbage gets more views than his best content.
I can hear this.
And I'm blessed to have white men like me don't have that. But I had it. I was blessed. Okay. But things are changing. Okay. And I think in our world today, with so much that we got to find someone.
Brother, you say you didn't hear? Hold on. Let me check my phone. Hold on. Because if it's coming through my phone, then hold on, let me see something.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry this is slow because I want to debunk the stuff he's saying, but he's having trouble getting it together. He's looking at his phone.
Let me play this again. Hold on.
He's going to play it again.
That we connect with. someone that shares the same values, someone that
Okay, yeah, I can hear it through my phone, so you should be able to hear it. Oh, okay, gotcha, brother Car. Sorry.
All right,
so let's
come
continue.
on, get with
I'm gonna
it.
chop this shit up.
Yeah, chop it up, jackass. Let's see.
believes in love like we do, right? And this person might not look like us, and that's okay. I know the conditioning is real. I know we've been conditioned to stay segregated, to stay separate, right? And here's the thing: that's not what we're supposed to do. We're human beings, and how can we segregate human beings from human beings? Why? Because we look different. We're not different races. We're not that. I know we categorize us as black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Middle Eastern.
Okay. First of all, for one thing, let me say this: we are different. We are different. This is the reason why.
First of all, every individual is different. Yeah, we look different, but we're human beings, guy. Okay, yeah, we're black and white, and we're different in how we look, but we're human beings. Okay, you need to get that through your head.
You have whites on one section of the globe. You have blacks. You have on another section. This is the reason why This is the reason why it was meant to be separated. You bastards decide to go up against nature and try to start this mixing process, invading country, mixing, causing confusion. Now you got Negroes.
Now, first of all, people were invading each other all through time in all continents, all countries. Yes, and even Africa. Tribes conquered other tribes. And in Europe, countries conquered other countries. They did it in Asia. And man has moved around. Yes, even black people have done it. Okay. And the thing of it is we started out in the same place. Okay. Today, the world is different. We've been divided by nations. Okay. And biblically, it don't talk about race, it talks about nations because we're one race. Okay. And to say that, that we just came out and wanted to just race mix and stir things up, man has traveled. If you study your DNA through Africa, you'll find your DNA spread out throughout the continent. Okay. And then you probably find some white and some Asian mixed in there because men have moved around. Men have conquered each other. Okay. That's the way of the world. That's the way it was. Okay. Now man moved around and here we are. Okay. That old way of segregating is coming to an end, whether you like it or not. Okay. You can blame the white man for that, all this stuff. And I'm not saying white men didn't do no evil stuff. They did, no doubt. But that was the way of the world. See, the strong survive. The strong conquer the weaker groups, right? It's happened all through history. Now, the Europeans took their conquering to a global level based on the technology and based on them moving across the world faster than other groups of people. But men were always conquering each other. And back in the day, you either conquered or you were conquered. Okay, you either controlled or you didn't. And sadly, the ones that the ones that did survive that were defeated, guess what happened? They were turned into slaves. Yes, it was wrong. Yes, it was evil. Yes, but that's the way of the world back then. We cannot change the past. It happened. Okay, and try to relive the past ain't going to help nobody. We got to move forward. We are human beings, and we should treat each other as such. Okay? Let's quit living in the past and let's come together. We could do great things. You know, but if we're going to be divided, we'll just destroy each other. And guess what? Then we'll be they'll easily control us. Okay, let's continue.
Oh, I don't know if I'm African. I'm part this. I'm part that. Y'all bastards created that, and you still continuing it.
See how he blames white man's fault for everything. We created this. Okay, let's continue.
This is the reason why you have a lot of mixed kids out here. They doing drugs. They are confused because no other race accept them.
First of all, it's not just mixed kids out doing drugs, dummy. There are black people doing drugs. There are white people doing drugs. There are every racial group of people doing drugs. See how he turns it? Because the white man's mixing, now biracial kids are confused. They're out doing drugs because they don't know who they are. No, that's your doing, okay? You're the one that tells them they have to pick a side. See, I got biracial kids, and they're not out doing drugs. They're not out getting in trouble. They're doing just fine. They're highly educated. Okay? And my oldest is doing better than I'm doing. Okay? My biracial kids are not confused, dude. I think you're confused. You're making stuff up. But anybody could get on drugs. People of all races get hooked on drugs. It's not because of the race mixing and see, this is talking points of these black supremacists that hate interracial couples, that hate interracial marriage. They make stuff up. They'll exaggerate stuff to try to push their point in their agenda. But see, if you don't raise your kids to be confused, they'll be just fine. The reason biracial kids have an identity problem is because you teach them to have it. You teach them they got to pick a side. And your daddy, Dr. Umar, has been spewing that crap. That biracial are just, and maybe you disagree with Dr. Umar because he says that biracial children are all black. I don't know. I wonder if he believes that too. But see how he attacks biracial children? It's not just the white man he's attacking. Now it's the biracial children. Because something's wrong with them. Why? Because they come from a black and white parent? Let's continue.
I don't accept biracial children. I'm sorry.
You don't accept them? See how it is? He don't like them. Well, you know what? You're a hater, and people that have love don't accept you. And I'm sure these biracial children could care less what you think. Because you don't accept them because you have no love in your heart. You don't accept them because you're a racist, biased piece of trash. It is what it is. What do you mean you don't accept them? They're human beings, dummy. I mean, this guy goes further than these hoteps. You know, you got some hoteps that'll accept biracial if they claim their allegiance to the black group. Well, this guy just don't like them. Let's continue.
I'm sorry. That's just me. Marcus
Yeah,
Garvey.
it is you.
The great Marcus Garvey said he prefers a pure race.
Ah, the great Marcus Garvey, the segregationist. Okay, he prefers a pure race. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like the Ku Klux Klan? They prefer a pure race too. Huh? They prefer segregation. So you're in alignment with the Ku Klux Klan. And guess what? The great Marcus Garvey, I looked this up. He actually had dealings with the Grand Wizard back in the day. Yeah, they had meetings. And in fact, a number of black people turned on Marcus Garvey because he was dealing with the Klan. Okay? And I'm not going to say Pan Africans are as violent as the Klan, because they're not. Let's be honest. The Klan was a terrorist group unaliving people. Now the black nationalists, they did have some violence, but not as bad. But they have the same ideology as the Klan. Racial purity. Have we heard that before? Believing you're superior above other groups of people? Didn't we used to call that racist? I'm just saying, racial purity, really, guy. This is a segregationist all the way. I bet he could be friends with Klan members because they share the same ideology. He might not like them because they're white, but he'll like them because they believe like him. There is no pure race. We are all Noah's sons. Yes, we came from the same place. We're human beings. Okay, there are different nations, but there's one race, the human race. Okay, just because we look different, don't mean we're a different species. Okay, let's continue.
White people should get their pure race. Have your own pure race. Let us have our pure race.
If you want to have that, get in your little group, but I don't want my pure race. And you know what? I'm opening up my options. Guess what? I already have. I got kids and grandkids. Okay. So I procreated with a black woman, and you know what? My line's moving forward. I have a legacy. And I'm going to promote people to judge people on the content of their character, not their skin color. Those famous words Martin Luther King said. I'm going to push that forward. I'm going to encourage black women to open up their options. I'm going to encourage white men to do the same. And you know what? And black men, listen to me. I got your back on this one. If you want to get a Becky, go get your Becky. Open up your options too. But what I would say is do it for love. Don't do it for lust or that thing you accuse us of doing, fetishizing. Do it for true love. Because here's the deal. You go where you're loved, you're celebrated. And I'm for the human race. I'm not for the black, white. I'm not for segregation. But if you want segregation, go to a melanated country and find a group that believes like you. Quit attacking people that don't believe like you.
I want my race to be pure as possible.
Well, guess what, dude? You don't have that choice. You don't have that choice. Because guess what? Your kids might have a different thought on that. They might open up their options. And if they don't, your grandkids might. And then if they don't, your generations will, I guarantee it. Okay? Look. They tried this racial supremacy stuff back in the past. And guess what? We're coming together. I'm just saying. But you want the pure race? Good luck. It ain't going to happen. I don't mean to burst your bubble. Well, yeah, I actually do. But anyway, let's continue.
I don't understand that. I want to live among my people. I want to build among my people. I want to vibe with my sisters. That's the way it is. That's just nature.
No, that's your nature. Okay? It's natural for men and women to be attracted to each other. Okay? It's natural for people that have the same values to come together. Okay? That's natural. It's natural for two people that love each other to become one. Okay? You think people come together same race and color, that's the natural. You've been told this segregation propaganda. You sound like just like if David Duke was here tonight, he would agree with you. You sound just like him. You kind of look like him too.
And there's nothing wrong with that. When I saw that movie Get Out, the dude, he saw another black guy who was already, they already took his brain.
Okay, so you're believing science fiction movies is fact. Yeah, you're that dumb. You claim I'm slow, but you're taking your beliefs on a science fiction movie. Get Out, really? You're probably so stupid you believe people are actually doing that.
But he said the first thing he said was because he was surrounded by all these white folks, and we saw a brother, another brother. He said, "Oh, it's good to see another brother around here." Why would he say that? But why? But my question is, why would you even put yourself in that condition, in that situation?
First of all, it's fiction. We're going off a movie
where you can't wait to see somebody that looks like you. That doesn't make any sense. I'm just lost. I'm sorry.
You are.
Let's
lost.
Continue.
This stupid crap, right? We're human beings, okay? At the end of the day, we're people, okay? And we should not gravitate towards someone that looks like us. We should gravitate to someone that loves us. Character over color, okay? We say that, right? Do you believe it?
What?
Because I tell you this, black women are the best option, okay? And in my life, that is so true.
Hold up, brother. Forecast in the house. Hold up. I'm glad. Wow, I haven't seen you in a minute on my show. Well, hold up, brother. Forecast. What's good, Kay? What's good? What is good? She said, Ron said, most definitely different humans than the aliens from another planet. I understand. Yeah, different humans from. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. They're different humans. They're aliens. Oh my God, they're from outer space. You see the stupidity this guy is talking? First of all, he's going to believe in a science fiction movie to make his points. And then he's going to say white people are aliens. And wow. This guy is really delusional. I wonder if he watches science fiction movies and takes that as fact. Wow. But I've heard this rhetoric before. People saying white people are aliens, they're not even human, they were teleported, and they were all this crazy stuff, all this fantasy. It's just stupid. But when you dehumanize a group, then that makes you feel superior. And they're doing what white supremacists did. This is the same thing. I mean, just listen to it. It's crazy. Let's continue.
Sister Raw, you're on point. Facts.
Yeah, you're on point. Facts.
That's what's up.
From another planet.
Yeah, man. It's like,
wow.
These people are not even considered human.
Wow, we're not even considered. You guys hearing this? I've heard some pro-black stuff, some hotel, but this guy is like, he's just saying we're not even human. We're from another planet. I mean, where's your evidence that we came from some other planet? Or is that fantasy and hatred being blended into some weird fantasy you have? I'm just saying.
You know, when you have mixed children, because the blood is too different, did you know they have to take a special shot? The doctor had to take because the two and that's real because I know young Farrah brought that up, but that's true. They have to take a different shot. I forgot what you call it because you're dealing with two different species of people.
All right, let me stop right there. The shot he's talking about, or I say lying about, okay? I'm going to show you a video that explains what he's talking about. Okay? Let me put it up here. I don't want to lose where we're at. Okay, let me bring this up real quick.
Give birth with a white.
Okay, listen. This is where he gets this from. Listen to this. Okay? And I'll tell you the truth after this video.
Black women can't give birth with a white man without a ROGAM shot. We're not supposed to reproduce outside of our race.
Wait, hold on. What you talking about?
Because the black woman's immune system will release antibodies to terminate the placebo, to terminate the pregnancy. When the black woman gets pregnant by a white man, her immune system rejects the pregnancy. So the ROGAM shot disguises, tricks the immune system to think that this is an actual black baby. So it's like and in the ROGAM shot, there's blood. And no,
You mean to tell me people go to the hospital to deliver a baby, interracial couples, and a black woman, if the husband, the father of the child is Caucasian, the doctor has to give the woman a shot in order for her to have a successful delivery? I'm like, I ain't never heard of this before, ever.
I know, because they disguise it.
What if she has a child with somebody who's Asian or Indian or something?
It's the same thing. They reverse engineered the ROGAM shot and weaponized it to make black women sterile, so they couldn't give birth. So
first of all, that's false, as not all black women will require a ROGAM shot regardless of who the father is. The blood type he's referring to is the Rh negative blood type, seen in only about 8% of blacks, and it's more common for our Caucasian counterparts. So when talking about your blood type, we're referring to two things, your ABO blood group and your rhesus blood group. With your ABO blood group, you could be a type A, a type B, type AB, or type O. If you hear positive or negative, it means your blood is either Rh positive or Rh negative. Rh is the name of a protein found on red blood cells, and those that have these are called Rh positive. Those without it are Rh negative. Typically, your blood type shouldn't affect your health, but some problems can happen during pregnancy if you have Rh negative blood while your baby has Rh positive blood, and we refer to this as Rh incompatibility. If a small amount of your baby's blood gets into your bloodstream during pregnancy, your body recognizes this as something different from yours and can create antibodies. This will affect future pregnancies as it can cross the placenta and attack the baby's red blood cells, leading to anemia. So the medication he's referring to is something we call ROGAM, or anti-D immune globulin, which is given to prevent the body from making antibodies that can affect or attack the baby's cells. So yes, the medication is not always needed, but it is beneficial when it's given. And no, it doesn't cause sterility. It's given regardless of race, and there is no conspiracy or plot to sterilize black women. And yes, black women can have kids with whomever they want. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, like and follow for more.
Okay. So that's what he's talking about. Okay, it's your blood type. It's not your race. Okay? Black women can procreate with whatever man they want to. Okay? That's her body ain't going to attack it because it's a white man or another race of man. Okay? It deals with blood. There could be complication if you have that Rh negative and your baby has a Rh positive, like he explained. Okay? But this ain't a racial thing. Two white people might fall into this issue, or two black people, or an interracial couple. Okay? That's total BS propaganda. They take a little knowledge, they spin it, and turn it into a racial thing. Okay? And now this guy, let's get back to our Hotep hobo over here. Let's see.
In the U.S.
That's not the one. Dang it, where's his thing? All right, I might have to reload it. Dang it, it came down. Okay.
Because we already know these
All
white
right.
men, they're very greedy. If they're
Okay.
not saying, can you hear him? Just press 1 in the chat if you can hear, if you heard what he said.
She is my blessing. She is
Okay. Sorry, I found it. I got so many videos up here. Okay.
My babies didn't have to go.
All right. But that's what the shot he's talking about. See, this stupid idiot, instead of researching, he believes some he believes some thug dude that just come up with it like it's fact. He don't research it. He don't talk to doctors. He just believes what he hears. As long as it's negative towards white people, it's gospel to this clown. But did he do any research? No. He just watched a video and you had a doctor do a reaction and tell you the truth about the Rogam shot. Okay? I have 3 biracial children. I never had to get the shot. My wife never did. And it don't make black women sterile. I hate when people just throw things out there and don't do no research. See, and it shows his intelligence level. He hates white people so much, anything negative, he's just going to believe right off the bat. I mean, do your research. Talk to some medical personnel.
Through that. Yes. It's a natural thing to get with somebody that looks like you. And look at the animal. See, this is what I'm saying about white folks. They are so out of touch with nature, it's not even funny. They don't like nature.
Okay, so what about the black people that want to get with white people or other racial groups? Are they not attached with nature? I mean, what are you talking about? So you're saying you can't be attracted to someone of a different skin tone? You can't see beauty in a woman? Let me tell you something, idiot. Men are attracted to women regardless of their skin tone. Okay? A man will get aroused seeing a woman's body because it's a natural thing, it's nature. And she don't have to be the same skin tone. That's a lie he's pushing. And with women, vice versa. Now, you'll have a preference for a certain group of women or men, whether you're a man or woman, but it might be your racial group, it might not.
They hate nature. You never seen giraffe wanna mate. You never saw a male giraffe want to mate with a female a zebra.
Oh, so you're comparing people to animals, okay? A giraffe and a zebra are different species. They can't procreate. Even if somehow they had sexual contact, they couldn't reproduce. The genetic information is too different. It won't work. See, but black and white people can reproduce because we're human beings. This is the dumbest thing. And you'll hear these hotep dudes say stupid crap like that. Oh, well, what about a giraffe and a zebra? Well, first of all, there's people and there's animals. We're human beings, weirdo. Oh my God. What? Well, let's continue.
You never saw that. Because they know, because it's just nature. That thing don't look like me. They know that animals are not stupid. But it shows that we're stupid. It shows that the humans, the so-called humans are stupid. People are stupid.
You're stupid.
Forecast, I didn't get your notification. You
Not a clown.
okay, yeah. I don't know, man. YouTube is they don't. I don't know what's up with YouTube, man. But I'm glad you came through, man. I'm just that's the good thing.
I wonder if YouTube has a policy on your racial slurs. I wonder, I wonder if there's some community guidelines you're violating. I know one thing, you got a lot of hate in your heart. And, you know, you just hate white people. I can tell. But, racism is bad, whether white people are practicing it or black people are. I don't know why we can't just come together as human beings and just love each other. Whoever you want to date and marry, that's up to you. But to hate people because of their skin tone, because you don't like seeing biracial children, who are you to say? Who are you to say what nature is? You ain't God. He probably thinks he is in his sick, twisted fantasy. Let's continue.
You came through. That's all that matters. But this dude is bugging. But trust me, like I said, I'm not gonna play the whole video. I'm just gonna rebuttal the key things that he says. But just listen to what he says. How he loved black women.
Nobody has blessed me. No woman has blessed me more than the black woman in my life. Okay? And I'm not just talking about my wife. I love my wife more than any woman in the world. Okay? But I found out something special about black women, about their love, about what's in their heart. And you know what? Because my mother and father never told me it was wrong to love a black woman, I was able to see the truth. Okay?
Here's what I think.
And there are beautiful women in all races. Don't get me wrong.
Because, he served the military, right? And I think that what happened was, I don't know, he met some black woman that gave him the poutine, and now he's black woman crazy.
Okay, so that's his opinion. Why I like black women. In his opinion, I went in the military, which I did. I served in the Army 20 years. Okay? And he thinks I got with a black woman that gave me sex, and now I'm black women crazy. First of all, that is false. Okay? You don't know a damn thing about me. Okay? That's not how it happened. I had love for black women before I was even able to have a desire for any sexual contact. Okay? My love came naturally. Okay? My love came because I had a positive interaction with black women when I was a child. Okay? I could feel the love. And love is natural, and I felt it. And I had, yes, feelings for black women, positive feelings. Okay? And yes, my parents never told me I couldn't date black women because you know what? They seen people as people. They just wanted me to be happy whoever I married. They didn't care whether the woman was white or black or Asian. As long as she was kind to me and I'm good to her and we're happy, that's it. But first of all, I married my wife, Sandy, when I went in the military. Okay? I dated my wife before I went in the Army. So no, I didn't meet some black woman and had a sexual connection and then I went back black woman crazy. I was black woman crazy as a child. Okay? But this is the stuff they put in there. Oh, well, the reason he's that way is, some black woman just, and of course she was desperate because I'm so freaking ugly to this dude. So, they make up a story. And you ever notice when these hoteps attack, it's the most negative thing they can dream up. I've had people say, oh yeah, he's probably on drugs and he lives in a cardboard box, and they just go to the extreme negative. Yeah. But I mean, and even if that were true, who cares? Why do you care why I love black women? But that scenario he made up's not how it happened. Okay, and me and my wife are from the same town. Okay, we're both from New Mexico, the same city. Okay, so I didn't go in the army to meet my wife. Okay, some people do. Some people meet people in the army and get married. I didn't. I married my wife and then went in. And my wife is in, you know, my wife went through my whole career with me. And but anyway, but that don't really matter. But see how they put it? He's trying to put a negative spin, because it makes him feel better. It helps him with his insecurities to attack me. Because I think he's kind of jealous of white men that are with black women. I'm just saying. But or maybe he just hates white people. I don't know. But let's continue.
He's black woman crazy. And I think that's what happened. So he met this so-called wife. She's ugly to me.
Oh, and here we go. Now you got to insult my wife. Call my wife ugly. Wow. This guy has no honor, no respect, no character. One thing I will not do, guys, I will not attack somebody's wife. Okay? But see, I have honor. I have integrity. I have respect. Okay? And I see people as human beings, regardless of their skin tone. Okay? And even though I can't stand this piece of garbage, I'm not going to attack his family. That would be wrong. But see how easy it is to attack my wife? My wife has never done anything to this guy. Okay? He don't even know me or my wife. But he feels that he can just come in and talk about us because we're in an interracial relationship. And what do you care what my wife looks like, idiot? There's something going on in this guy's head. Something's going on. I mean, who does that? But you see, it's all hate. It's all attacks. There's no facts there anywhere. It's made up stuff. He's going off science fiction movies and something he heard about Rh negative blood and twisted it to where black women body fights off, can't get pregnant without this shot, which is a lie. you know but not only he can't just disagree with me and attack me on my facts. He can't just go in on me. He's got to bring my wife into it. That's how these guys are. They're weak. They got feminine energy and they don't have no respect. And ladies, you get with a guy like this, he'll treat you with disrespect too. Any man that finds it easy to just attack a woman he don't know, that's a big red flag. And this guy is sick. And I'm telling you. And black women need to see dudes like this. So you know what to stay away from.
But he met this coyote chick.
There goes assaulting my wife again. He just can't help himself.
And all of a sudden, he's like black woman crazy. He's black woman crazy. Yes, there's a difference between man and mankind. You're right. He's mankind. Yeah, there's a big difference. You're right about that.
Wow.
Sister Raw's on point. Yes, sis. But this guy He just have this lust or this fetish for black women.
Okay, there it goes, the fetish again. Okay, it never fails. You got to always accuse a white man of a fetish, right? And here's the thing: I'm married to my wife 31 years. Only been married once, okay, and only had children with one woman. I'm faithful to one woman, but yet I'm fetishizing. Do you even know what a fetishization is? And you should look it up in a dictionary, the definition, and not look at a science fiction film or listen to some idiot online come up with some stuff. Okay? A fetish is sexual gratification from from body parts, seeing a woman as an object. Okay? That's what it is. Now, if I was doing that, my marriage would never last. No, 31 years. Okay? But this is just talking points they throw out there. He probably don't even know what a fetish is. He just hears people say it. Hey, Winter Glow, good to see you. And Corey's in the house tonight. But who's really fetishizing black women? When you look at the out of wedlock birth rate, it seems like black men are sleeping with black women but not marrying them. Because, see, if you have a fetish, you're not going to get married. You're going to live out your fetish. Okay? And if you did get married with a fetish, it ain't going to last no 31 years. Just saying. Okay? But, they're just talking points. And, but somebody said that he's not jealous of me, but jealous of Sandy. I think they are jealous of black women. And maybe that's why they attack my wife. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what the need is to attack my wife. I don't get it. Let's continue.
And it seemed very creepy. It's a very creepy. The way it's very creepy. I don't know. It's just I don't know.
What's creepy? Being married to my wife and expressing my love to my wife? That's creepy to you? What's creepy is you're into my damn business. What's creepy is you're worried about how my wife looks. And then you're worried about how I look. That's damn creepy. That's what's creepy, sir. Stay out of people's business. Leave people's wives alone. Know who you think you are. You need to go somewhere.
Is the love of my life. My wife, Sandy, is the woman that is the most important woman in my life, okay? My wife, Sandy, is the treasure. She's the prize. She is my blessing. She is my wife, my love, my everything. Okay?
Oh, please. Dude, Let me charge.
Oh, please, dude. Oh, please. 31 years, jackass. Can you say that? 31 years. One woman, one wife. First and last marriage. 31 years. Say all please to that.
Let me charge my let me put my thing in here. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second.
Okay. I'm not going to do all of this video, but there's just some things I want to correct this weirdo.
Okay, but you hear this guy talk. He gives me creepy vibes, and he's like, "Oh, she's the love of my life," and the.
Okay, so if it gives you creepy vibes, what are you doing with my video? If it's so creepy to you, why are you even focused on me and my wife's life together? Why are you worried about how we look? You're creepy, okay? You're the creepy one. What, you don't tell your wife you love her? Your wife ain't the love of your life? Or whoever you're with? You don't know what it's like to express love to a woman that you love? Is that creepy? I'm just saying, like, what's creepy about that? This is just stupid. But if it's so creepy, why are you watching my video? Why are you even looking at my channel? You're the creepy one, dude. Go stay with your group and talk about how much you hate white people. Go with them. Leave me and my wife alone.
Because what? Because she can clean for you. She wipe your ass for you. Like she's a mammy for you. Like what? Why? I don't. Oh, she's the love of my. I mean, the typical slave owner talk.
Typical slave owner talk. Oh, is that how slave owners talk to their slaves? Say, "You're the love of my life. I love you. You're my wife." How is that slave owner talk? You guys, are you listening to this clown? I can't look. Saying you love your wife is slave owner talk. Oh my God, is it this guy for real? So if I tell my wife, "Hey Sandy, I love you. You're amazing," that's slave owner talk. So if a black man says he loves his black wife, is that slave owner talk too? How is that slave owner talk? Wow. See how stupid these people are? See how stupid this jackass is? He thinks that telling your wife that you love her is slave master talk. Wow. You can't make this up. This Elmer Fudd looking dude he's off his rocker. He needs to go to a mental hospital. Wow. You think slave owners would tell their slave that they love them and that they're the love of their life? Oh man.
The end of time. Now, some people are so confused when I say I love black women. I think black women are beautiful and amazing. For some reason, a lot of these black dudes out there do not understand this, that you can love a woman.
So
let me finish,
has beef
idiot.
with black men.
Let me
just give me
stop.
1 minute here. I just want to make sure everything is.
Uh-oh. How did I go to there? Okay. Sorry, somehow I knocked it back. Okay,
Play this one.
Okay. All right. So he's saying I have beef with black men. I don't have beef with black men in general. I have a beef with black men that don't treat black women right. I have a beef with black men that pump and dump black women. I have a problem with black men that don't do the right thing, like your hero Umar Johnson, having children out of wedlock and treating their children like garbage. Okay, that's what I have a beef with. Okay, it's not having a beef with black men. It's having a beef with men that don't do black women right. Having a beef with the black men that don't do the right thing. That's what I have a beef with. It's not a racial thing. It's a character thing. And with only 26% of black women being married, in the black community having the worst marriage stats, the highest divorce rates, least likely to get married, okay? And these dudes are running around making these women single mothers when the black woman gives you her love and loyalty. See, that's the problem I have, is when black women are treated wrong. Black women are too valuable for that crap. When black men tell black women to date and marry down and lower their options, that's what I have a beef with. But you wouldn't understand that because you don't understand accountability. You don't understand what it means to do the right thing. And guys, when I go through this video some more, you're going to see how he has a lack of accountability. Okay? Now, just because I go in on a black man don't mean I hate him. Okay? The reason I go in is accountability. In fact, I'm talking about these dudes like my father talked about me. Like, you need to do the right thing. You don't lay up with a woman that you don't want to marry. You don't go out creating families outside of marriage. And then blaming the black woman for it. How about that? Why don't you do research on that? And if you're a man of character, you would be going in on men that weren't doing black women right. But you don't. All right, let's continue. Okay, here he's going to go in on a reaction that I did on this woman that was talking about how black women stay away from white men because they're dangerous, because they're, Neanderthals and all this stuff. And he didn't like my reaction on that. But let's go ahead and continue here. Okay.
So here we go. So this is the one I really want to chop it up with. Chop it up.
Yeah, let me chop it up back to you.
So he takes this video of this young lady, and because she's saying, brothers, she's telling sisters, stay away from these white men. They're not for you. Stick with your brothers. He's attacking this young sister, calling her that she might be a dyke, that she's hateful, all these mean names.
Well, first of all, she was saying hateful things about white people in general, white men, white women, saying racial slurs, calling us cave dwellers, okay, Neanderthals, and saying that, telling black women to stay away from white men because they'll unalive you, because they do that all the time. And I was debunking what she said. Now, I don't care if she's with a black man or what. In fact, I would prefer her to stay over there. I would prefer her to be with the Hoteps because she shares your ideology. Okay? I wouldn't go in on her because she said she wanted to be with a black man. No, what she was doing was, and she was overly going in on black women with white men. It's almost like she wanted to be with a black woman. I mean, it appeared that way. Okay? And that's why I said that. But then again, I said, I don't know if she's that way. It just seems weird. Okay? But of course, you're going to twist it to something it's not. Let's continue.
Because She loved her black men. A lot of
No,
these sisters.
no, that wasn't even what it was about. It was about what she was telling black women. Show the whole thing.
Are loyal to us. They're the most loyal to us, and they're the one who's still fighting for us. And you got brothers out here that love our sisters.
Yeah, they love them so much that 75% they're not marrying. Yeah. You love them so much, but your marriages don't last. You love black women so much, but you have the highest divorce rates, the most domestic violence rates. Oh yeah, but you love them. Okay, I get it.
We will go through fire.
No, you won't.
He don't like that. And he's attacking.
I don't like that you're lying. I wish you would go through the fire for black women. I do. I wish black men would do this. Look, I want you to do this. I want you to turn it around and start being real men and start uplifting black women, because most black women are going to be with black men. So I want the best for black women. Okay? That's what I want. What you're saying is just a lie, just stupidity.
This young girl, she's not up in age, she's a young girl. So to me, and it's like, dude, my man, like you claim you love black women, but you attacking this young sister because.
No, I'm not attacking her. I'm defending myself. I'm defending black women, white men relationships. Okay? That's what I'm doing. See, he's going to say I'm just attacking her for no reason. No, the stuff she said was wrong. Okay? And I'm not attacking her. I'm just debunking what she's saying. I didn't go over there just calling her names. I said, well, she might like women because she's so worried about black women with white men. But let's continue.
She says she's telling sisters, hey, stay away from these white men. And you
upset? Yeah, I am upset because it's none of her business. It's not her business. How about that? Now, who she dates, I don't care. Okay? I don't know, dude. Maybe you'll shoot your shot with her, right? Look. But anyway, let's continue.
With that, so now you want to call her names? You want to call her that she's a dyke or she looks butchy or whatever like that? That's fucked up. That's a contradictory.
Oh yeah, that's effed up. But you could call me a cave dweller. You could say my wife looks like a coyote. You said my wife's ugly, but you're a hypocrite. So I'm not supposed to say nothing about this woman that totally trashed white men and white women too. I'm not allowed to defend that. But you're allowed to attack my wife at will? That's a distraction. Get back to black women.
And you're going to hear him say this.
Okay.
You're going to hear this asshole say this. Please hit that like button. If you enjoy the video, hit that like button. If you enjoy it, share. But yeah, man, I'm just like, I'm really, he has.
Okay, I'm going to get past this because he won't even show the video because what he's saying is a total lie. But let's see. Let's get to this other part. Okay. Okay. This part is where he gets upset, really upset.
And this guy unalived 3 black women. Well, actually, it's a black dude, but okay. We'll go with the cave walker thing, okay? That makes more sense, right? Because she says, stay away from the white men. They're hunting you. And there's so many cases all over the place about white men taking black women's life. I think she missed this one. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about, calling us White Walkers and stay away. And my point is there are good and bad men in all groups, right? And that's what I said. And I'm showing this news report. Okay. But this is what he said.
Let's see this one here. Okay. God dang it. I hit the wrong one again.
And on your side.
Okay, let's see. This is another case of the White Walkers, right? The cave dwellers.
WBRC Fox 6 News starts with breaking news.
That breaking news, these 7 people all charged with murdering a 20-year-old mother from Jasper. Someone found Mahogany Jackson's body on Monday in Birmingham after she had texted a family member that she had been kidnapped.
Arbria Chapman was at a press conference held by Birmingham police this evening. The chief not mincing his words when discussing this case.
Scott Thurman describing the murder of Mahogany Jackson as disgusting and one of the most heinous crimes that he's seen throughout his career. And not only was Jackson shot and killed, she was also sexually assaulted by multiple people. Now there are 7 people under.
All right, let me stop there. You guys know about Mahogany Jackson, right? Okay. She did not open up her option. Mahogany Jackson was not with a white man. Mahogany Jackson kept it within the community, okay? But look at the people that assaulted Mahogany Jackson.
Wow.
Okay?
Unbelievable.
Let's look at these people. These are not White Walker cave dwellers. They're not white supremacists. Who are these people? This is in Mahogany Jackson's community. You see black women, black men that took the life of Mahogany Jackson. Okay? Did she hunt the white man? Did she? No, she didn't. She stayed within her community. And the people that harmed Mahogany Jackson were people that looked like Mahogany Jackson, which were black people like Mahogany Jackson. And one of these women had a sexual assault charge that actually sexually assaulted Mahogany Jackson. These males in there, you know what they did? They repeatedly raped her, pistol whipped her. Okay? This woman was violated sexually by men and women that look like her. But you're going to tell me, black women, beware of the white man. Really? Now, I'm not saying there aren't white men that will do horrible things to black women either. They're out there. Just look at the case of Sade Robinson, that creepy white dude, unalived her. And I have nothing against them putting that on blast because it needs to be. But it's not only white men that are harming black women. In fact, if you look at the statistics, overwhelmingly, black men unalive black women a lot more than white men.
Not true. False.
Okay?
False.
That is true. That's facts.
Let's get that straight.
False.
Go look at the stats
It's true.
if you think I'm lying. Black women in America today, black women and black girls is the biggest group statistically that are unalived, face domestic violence, okay, that are missing, that are human trafficked, more than any other group of women. When Malcolm X gave that speech, how black women are the most disrespected.
Please, I hate when you use our ancestors, Malcolm X. Do not use Malcolm X.
Yes, I will use Malcolm X. I will, because I can. I don't care what you think. Okay. All right. Enough of this clown. Okay. The reason I showed Mahogany Jackson, okay, is to show this clown and many other people that it's not just white men that are harming black women. In fact, statistically, black women are safer with white men. Okay? That is facts. I know he said it's a lie, but who do black women date and marry the most? It's not white men. Okay? And the stats bear it out. All right? And the thing of it is he can't take accountability. He can't say, well, you know what, Roadrunner, you're right. There are evil black people too. Okay? He can't even come to me with that and say, you know what, you got a point. There are evil men on all sides. Okay? And I'm not going to show no more of this. This is getting old. I just want to show you how these hoteps are. Okay? And I'm telling you, these guys, they hate white people so much, and they're so obsessed with race, and they're so obsessed with what the white man's doing, and they make up stories calling us aliens and trying to scare black women into staying race loyal. Okay? And he says he don't like black men with white women either, but they don't get as upset. They kind of let that slide. But that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to make a point. Like, look, get to reality. Who's really doing the most harm? Okay? But let me, all right, let me see here. Oh, I want to show you something that's interesting. Okay? And tell me what you think of this. All right?
Kind of fight.
Okay, they're talking about race war, right? Listen to this. Tell me if you believe this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay?
What other race/ethnicities do you believe would be there to help black people in a race war?
Oh, Lord, give me strength. So what other race/ethnicities would help black people in a race war? That's easy. White people. White people would be the #1 helpers of black people in a race war or any kind of fight against anybody. And I'm going to explain why I said that. The truth of the situation, different than everybody wants to admit, white people have always been the biggest contributors and biggest helpers of black people historically. For instance, even during slavery, do you realize during slavery that only 3% of the white population owned black people? Only 3%. So 97% of white people wasn't involved in slavery. That's a misnomer that a lot of people don't seem to understand and don't seem to miss. And the fact is, white people were the ones who actually freed the slaves. White people have always been the ones who came to the side to help black people. No other ethnicity has ever helped black people more than white people. It's just the truth. Even look now. If you ever notice all these GoFundMes and things like that black people put up, most of the biggest contributors and most of the money comes from white people. Look at the rap industry. Most white people are the ones who's buying these records, these drill and trap records. All this money is coming from white people. White people even donate to causes that are against white people when it comes to black people. White people have always been contributors and helpers of black people. They don't want to admit it, but it's true. For instance, do you realize historically that black people sold black people to white people during slavery? The Africans were black people selling other black people. They were selling their slaves to white people. And who ended slavery? White people. Who freed the slaves? White people. The truth of the situation is the reason why people are so easy to disrespect white people is because white people are they've let black people disrespect them constantly, and they still have black people's backs. The truth of the situation is if a race war kicked off, the biggest help that black people would ever get would come from white people. That's the truth. You can disagree with it, and I don't care. I want your disagreements. I want you to tell me where I'm wrong at. Blessings to the righteous.
What do you think about that? And he's right. And not to say white people didn't do evil things, because white people did. Let's be honest. It's, but white people actually ended slavery. Okay. And people forget about this Christian group out there that was called abolitionists. Anybody know about them? I think we forgot that in history. We know about the slave owner and slavery, but the abolitionists, do we know that how that came about? Did we have a civil war to fix the slavery problem we had in our country? And going beyond the Civil Rights Act, it would have never passed if there weren't white people behind it. Okay? It wouldn't have. Okay? So it's almost like through history, white people have been the problem and the solution. Okay? Not all of us were on board with the slavery thing. Ever since the first slave ship came, there were people against it from the get-go. It just the abolitionist movement took time to build up. It took time for us to get it right, to self-correct. Okay? But people don't study that part of history. They leave stuff out. And look, I'm not trying to minimize the slavery thing. It was ungodly and evil and in every way. And it's not something I'm proud of. It's very shameful. Okay? But we need to move on from that. Okay? The white people living today were not slave owners. They weren't. Okay? You can't hold somebody accountable because their ancestors did it. Okay? You're your own person. You're responsible for your actions. And you should be judged for what you do, not what somebody that looks like you did. But yeah, and you know what? God held America accountable. The Civil War was the most bloodiest war ever. And that was God's judgment on our nation for participating in slavery. How many people lost their fathers, their brothers, their sons? America actually had to spill its own blood to get it right. So there's always judgment for sin. You're always going to pay for it. Okay, it just seems like some of these people today want us to be punished for what we didn't do. But slavery was a thing of the world. The whole world participated. Okay, it wasn't just in America. I know some people think America invented slavery. I guess they never read Exodus in the Bible, but that's beyond the point. We can't fix the past, but we can improve the future. We can. And if we come together and just treat people like decent human beings and stop dividing ourselves because we look different, okay? Now, you can marry and date who you want. That's up to you. But we need to come together as a nation and, at least treat people with kindness and respect. And not trying to hold somebody accountable for something they didn't do. It'll never fix it. Revenge will only make things worse. Okay? But enough of that. I'm not going to get wrapped up. But that guy said it when I did the reaction video, he was saying that it was untrue that black men did more harm to black women than white men. Okay, but let me show you these news reportings. Okay, and we talked about. I haven't talked about black femicide in a while, but I might show these videos. And I know this clown is lurking and watching me. Maybe he could see these news reportings, help him do some research.
I'm investigator Sarah Buttison. A disturbing new report confirms something we uncovered in our year-long series on domestic violence. When women are murdered, the killer is often their intimate partner. But that's not all the report from the...
See that? CDC. Black women have the highest rates of homicide. Okay.
Centers for Disease Control and Prevention revealed. It also looked at who is most at risk and found black women have the highest risk of homicide. They're twice as likely to be murdered as women of other races.
We just don't trust systems because systems have never worked in our favor.
Victoria Grant is the Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center's justice system advocate. She says that lack of trust means black women are less likely to seek counseling or call police when they're abused, increasing the risk they'll be murdered. The good news, Grant's working on solutions. She created a special program aimed at educating African American service providers so they can help domestic violence victims in their community. On your side, I'm investigator Sarah Buttison, News 5.
Okay. So black women are twice as much to be victims of domestic violence. Okay. And I'm not just saying that just to say it. It is a fact. Okay. Twice as much. Black women, Malcolm X said it back in the 60s, right? That black women are the most unprotected, most disrespected. That was true then, and it's true now. And in fact, it's getting worse. Of course, the population's grown, but I'm just saying. But whose responsibility is it? They don't want me to play that Malcolm X video, do they? Because it holds them accountable. They don't want to hear about black femicide. It holds them accountable. But you know what? It holds us all accountable. Are we worried about who's doing it? Or are we worrying about the fact that it's being done? Because it's still a problem. But most black women are not with white men, so we can't be the most doing this. It makes no sense. There ain't white men going into black family homes to assault the black woman. That just ain't happening. Domestic violence happens with the person you're intimate with. Okay? So that alone debunks anything that Joker was saying. But when you don't have accountability, you don't look at stats. You just believe what's in your head. You just believe white people are all evil and racist and, anything that goes wrong, it's the white man's fault. And that's what that Joker was saying on that video that he was going in on me about. And towards the end, he was saying that, well, you caused it. But anyway, let me remove that. Let me show you another video. Okay.
4 black women and girls are killed every day. You actually heard me right there. I said every day. We're only 3 days into the new year, and these are the faces of black women we've already lost to homicide in 2022. This is obviously...
Listen, that's 2022. It's worse now. Much worse. 4 every day.
A crisis. But oftentimes it doesn't get the attention it deserves, which is where my next guest comes in. She's a nurse, a mom to 4 daughters, and in her free time, she's tracking violence and murders against black women and girls in America. Rosalind Page, founder of Black Femicide US, joins me now. What does the term black femicide mean for folks who have never heard it before?
Black femicide specifically means the murder of a Black woman or girl.
So in terms of Black femicide in the United States, why is it that murder is happening so frequently? I mean, every single day this is happening. So why is it happening so frequently to Black women and girls specifically?
There is a lot of crime that goes on within our communities, and crime has risen, especially during the pandemic. Crime has risen, but like many things within our community, people just don't acknowledge it.
Do you think that there is anything policy-wise that can be done to bring that number down? Because it feels to me like, you know, that's not just a crisis. That's a crisis that's happening that is almost not almost, but it's underreported. You know, if somebody was dying of, I can't even say that in the pandemic anymore, but I feel like the fact that it's this amount every single day means that there should be policy action. What should those policies be?
I specifically am looking to legislation to be put in place that addresses the violence within.
All right, let me stop right there. Okay, this is a big problem. Okay, and it's like under the rug. It's not like it's out in the open. And I don't know what it is, but there are twice as many Black women that are coming up missing, that are abused, than white women, okay, or any other group. Okay, it's happening overwhelmingly to Black women. And for some reason, it's swept under the rug. I mean, you will have shows like this where you'll have a news deal that talks about it, but it don't get the national attention. And there are all the time Black women and girls that are missing, okay, and they don't get the overwhelmingly coverage. And I hate to say it, that white women and girls get. And why is that? It seems like, you remember when Elizabeth Smart was missing, the whole nation went in an uproar, and it was on news stations locally and nationally, all around the world. You know, there were little Black girls missing, and they were only covered partially, only in the local news. And why is that? And why is it when Black women are harmed, we don't have protests, we don't go crazy? But when Black men get harmed, the nation goes in an uproar and they burn cities and they go crazy. Unless it's done by a white woman for some reason, because there were 2 Black men unalived from their white girlfriends, and it's like nobody cared. It was weird. I guess it's got to be the white cop that does it. I don't know. But this is a problem, and it's really ignored. And I don't know why. Is it because it don't bring news coverage? Where are the Black men protesting this and saying, you know what? I don't know. But anyway, let's continue.
Within our communities, specifically, much like the legislation that has been brought forth for the missing and murdered Indigenous women, that is really...
Okay, let me stop here. Will legislation fix this? What do you guys think? Will legislation fix the number of Black women that are assaulted, go through domestic violence, that are missing? Will legislation fix it? What would fix it? I got a radical idea that will help fix it. And I know people are going to think I'm off my rocker and crazy. And people are going to hate me for saying it. How about if more Black women open up their options? and go for men that have character instead of men that because of their color? What if we judged everybody by the content of their character and not the skin color? What if we didn't have a bias and we just went for the best option? What would our country look like? Would it reduce crime? Would we be happier? I believe we would. I believe this segregated mindset that we're living in will harm us. It will do damage. We can't change the past. And look, this is our nation. This is our home. I know some black people say, well, I didn't choose to come here. You know, I was just born here. Well, I didn't choose it either. But here I am. Here you are. Now what? This is our home. This is our nation. Now what? What are we going to segregate ourselves and fight each other? What are we going to get out of it? We got to see the truth. And when it comes to love and marriage, look, black women are the best option by the numbers. You could hate me for saying that, but if you look at the numbers, it's true. My life is an example of choosing the best option. What's that? Black women's lives are devalued, are considered not important. It's sad. Every black woman's life, yes. But we're not focused on it, are we? That joker I did a review on that reviewed my stuff, he don't care about that. In fact, he says, well, it's white supremacy doing it. He said, no, white men are doing it. He only cares how black people look. He don't care about what's really going on, does he? And a lot of people don't. And I honestly don't think legislation's going to fix it. I think that's just a comfort thing. Oh, we'll put up a bill and pass a law, protect black women and girls. Oh, great. Yeah, we're all in. Then what? Do you think criminals break the law because they don't know it's a law? You think if you make legislation, that's going to stop crime? It's already illegal to kidnap women and girls, right? But people do it. But I tell you, these hoteps ain't talking about it. They ain't whatsoever. Because if they did, it would take accountability. They wouldn't just be able to go in on the white man. They'd have to go in on the black man also. They'd have to admit, you know what? There are evil people on both sides. And then they'd really get their feelings hurt, finding out who's really hurting black women. But they don't talk about that. They talk about their segregation. They talk about white men being part of another planet and all this crazy stuff. They talk about how they hate interracial relationships. They talk about degrading biracial people. And the last thing on their mind, and I believe this to be true, is black women. Unless she's with a white man, then oh my God. Let me go ahead and pull this down. But anyway, they were talking about legislation to help fix the black femicide. And I'm telling you, there's been a lot of legislation pushed forward. But until men start having character and start taking care of black women, protecting them, and doing the right thing, it ain't going to fix the problem. You could pass as many bills as you want. but it ain't going to fix it till the men fix it. And ladies, you need to go where you're safe and protected. You need to vet like there's no tomorrow. Anyway, okay, enough of that. Now let's get to some happy stuff. Oh my God. Here's a little something. Okay. Did you know it says what interracial marriage has the lowest rate of divorce? Okay. And I looked this up. According to the U.S. Census, black wife, white husband has the lowest divorce rates. But we're fetishizers, right? Our marriages last longer when we marry black women than any other group of women. But we're fetishizers, right? Just like I've been married to my wife 31 years, but I'm a fetishizer. I guess fetishizer just means white. Just like racist, just you're a white guy. That just means that's what it means. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to show you some oldie but goodie footage, and I want Nerdy Wood to see this. He's going to love this. Okay, and this is two black men talking. Okay, and this was some years ago, and a black man's encouraging black women to open up their options. Check this out.
Incarceration rate, you throw in the unemployment rate.
Okay. You remember this guy? Ralph Richard Banks? And this is an old clip, but here, let me play this.
We have more black women, right, graduating from college, 2-to-1 to black men. You throw in incarceration rate, you throw in the unemployment rates, and you're saying there's just not enough black men.
Well, there are not enough black men for all of the college-educated black women in particular that have the type of husbands that they want to have.
The type that they want to have. Now, I put this out, and we had this conversation yesterday. And
yeah, there are more educated black women than black men. So, and black women outnumber black men by, what, over 2 million? So, so what the solution is that black women are told to date and marry down to lower their standards. Anyway, let's continue.
a lot of people were chiming in, and I decided to ask for questions from viewers. And one of the questions, simply put, is, do black women deserve better than what black men have to offer? That seems like a very heavy question there, but is that essentially what it is? Do we not measure up to the quality of black women right now?
That's really a great way to put it. And I will admit that I usually think about it from the other perspective, which is that is it fair to ask black women to sacrifice their own happiness on the altar, as it were, of black men's struggles? And
Okay,
I think not.
What is that?
I think not.
Okay, what's that sacrifice
have,
necessarily when we're talking about, and I asked you this question yesterday, is it always marrying down if the person you're marrying doesn't make as much money or have the same level of education? Could be a good guy.
Yeah, he could be a good guy, and lots of relationships work across classes, that's true. But it's also the case that for everyone, not simply for the women, but for the men as well, having a spouse who is matched to you educationally in terms of your outlook, your aspirations, your experiences, that's a positive thing. So it's actually not a great thing for the wife or the husband if they're in a mismatched relationship.
All right, and we know a lot of conversations were started yesterday because of this topic, and I had one of these conversations at my house with Mrs. Holmes, and one of these things that keeps coming up is how do you, and the word I think my wife used was reprogram, if you will, black women, because you're suggesting they need to be open to dating outside of their race. But, you know, a lot of black women just like brothers. They like the black man.
Right.
So if you're just not attracted naturally.
Okay. So what do you think? You remember this? This is like a classic. You know, TJ Holmes cheated on his black wife. Oh wow. Okay. But what do you think? I think there needs to be reprogramming, sort of say. I think we need to get that conditioning out of our head. And you know what? Go for the best option, you know? And Ralph Richard Banks, you know, he's a Stanford professor. He's very highly educated. You know, he knows what he's talking about. He's looked into the numbers. And black women are moving up in their education. Black women, you know, economically are moving up and faster pace than black men are. Okay. And, you know, I think that's going to lead to more and more interracial relationships. Okay. In today's world, you know, in the workplace, there's black women, and you know, we don't live on different parts of town anymore. You know, and I told people this, and you know, and sometimes black women say, "Well, where are the white men that like black women?" I'm like, "Where do you live, and what? How many of them are there?" You know, um, you gotta, and in a racial relationship, you gotta create your own opportunity. You gotta, you know, because it's still not, it's still out of the norm. Even though it's happening more and more every day, it's still something that's not the norm. Okay, it's becoming more normalized, but it's still very few people are doing that. You know, but I'm telling you, we're having a beautiful result when we open up our options. And I can speak from example with my marriage. You know, and I can look at the data. Let's continue with this.
Why have them give up on finding a black man?
Right, that's a great question. And the issue, the way I think of that is that women have been asked to carry a great.
Ralph Richard Banks, he's trying to be polite and just say it, dude. Just say the truth. He's trying to be well, some equal, or what do you see, economic diversity relationships do work, but you know, and he's like, well, that's a great question. He's trying to explain it. I think not to offend people, but to get the point across. I think. But let's continue.
Black women shoulder a lot of the burden, in short, of black men's struggles. And I am asking women to put the burden down. Many women think that they're attracted to black men. They are attracted to black men. But attraction itself is complicated. And one of the things that I discovered in the course of writing this book is that there's a whole host of fears and desires and anxieties that animate black women's attraction to black men.
Okay, and on that, though, I got another question from a viewer, Judy, sent in and said, well, it sounds like you're saying, why should black women give up the good fight? You know, you're not telling them to take on a project of fixing a man necessarily, but why just give up on black men?
Right, that is another great question. I actually am asking black women to give up the good fight because the fight hasn't been successful. The fight has not been successful. This is what a friend of mine, Carolyn Edgar, calls a Negro Improvement Project, which is what a lot of black women undertake, and often the results aren't so great. So the strategy has been counterproductive. It doesn't help African Americans for us to have black men and black women locked in bad relationships and raising children in households where the parents quarrel and ultimately divorce. Well, that's not a win for anyone.
It is law professor Ralph Richard Banks. The book is called Is Marriage for White People? I think it went on sale on the 2nd this week, and it has started a conversation that I'm sure will continue.
Okay. Go get the book. Is Marriage for White People? Okay. Marriage should be for everybody, but the marriage in the black community is really low. And does he have a point? Does Ralph Richard Banks have a point that black women should give up the good fight and just look for a good man? You know, I think, and you seen that clip there? Ralph Richard Banks, he was trying to be polite. He was trying to be diplomatic. He didn't, he wasn't going just go in there and say, "Hey, black women, get away from the black man. Go get you a white man or an Asian man or something." He didn't say that. I think he wanted to, just by the numbers, that he was looking, and he's married to a black woman. Stupid Omar did a reaction on it. Let's see if he's married. He's married to a white woman. Oh, he's married to a black woman. Oh my God. I guess even the top of the Hotep chain, they don't do their research. They just believe stuff, I guess. But anyway, and then, okay, I did this video a long time ago, and then here's a reaction. I don't know if you guys remember this one.
Is marriage for white people? That's the question being asked by an author of a new book. Is marriage for white people? How the African-American marriage decline affects everyone. It's got a lot of people talking right now. Stanford law professor Ralph Richard Banks says it's time for black women to, this is a quote, give up the good fight on marrying a black man. Here he is.
The way I think of that is that women have been asked to carry a great load. Black women shoulder a lot of the burden, in short, of black men's struggles. And I am asking women to put the burden down. Many women think that they're attracted to black men. They are attracted to black men. But attraction itself is complicated. And one of the things that I discovered in the course of writing this book is that there's a whole host of fears and desires and anxieties that animate black women's attraction to black men.
Okay, Banks recently wrote an article in the Wall Street Journal and said that 70% of black women aren't married. That's roughly true. Okay, so is it time for single, educated, and working black women to just forget the notion of marrying a black man and look outside their race? A new Gallup poll shows more and more people are receptive to the idea of interracial marriage. In 1968, the numbers were quite low for whites approving of interracial marriage. This is a Gallup poll from USA Today, but today those numbers skyrocketed for both blacks and whites. So does the author have a poll?
See how many approve now? Isn't that beautiful? So what's that tell you? Ladies, open up your options. Okay, don't listen to these black nationalists or white nationalists. Don't listen to these nationalist movements. Because most of us everyday people, we're okay with it. Most people I'm around don't have a problem with me having a black wife. Most black people that I work with, that I know, don't have a problem at all. Most white people don't care either. Okay? In fact, a lot of people show me love. A lot of people uplift me and tell me, and I tell people how much I love my wife and how amazing black women are. And most people think that's a beautiful thing. Most people do. And I have a lot of white women followers that love my channel and love that I have love for black women. They do. Honestly, the biggest following of my channel is black women, then white men, and then number 3 is white women. Almost as much as white men follow, almost as much white women as white men follow my channel. That's a beautiful thing. And we should respect who people love and who they want to be with. And one thing I could say about us white people that we do have a positive going for us is most of us aren't attacking each other for being in an interracial relationship or marriage. It's very rare that I get white women attacking me for this. Now, I will get some that do every now and then. Hardly any. And I've never attacked a white woman for being with a black man or whoever, Asian or whatever. I've never done that because that's their business. That's their right to be with whoever they want to be with. And from what I've seen, I don't get hardly any backlash from white people. I got more back in the day in the 80s and early 90s, but even then it was turning. Things were, you know, people were accepted of it. And really most people aren't. You see like that Joker I did a talked about tonight, that's really not most black people. It's not. You would think it is hearing this garbage on YouTube, you know. But these nationalist groups, they're like that. They think they're superior. And black and white nationalists are like the same thing. It's crazy how aligned they are together with their their separation beliefs and what they think about each other, you know? But anyway, let's continue.
Point. Is the black marriage nearly obsolete? Is the idea just for white people? Have a black couple here who says, hello, I'm right here. Joining us more to talk about this is Lamar and Ronnie Tyler, bloggers for Black and Married with Kids. All right, Tylers, I guess my first question is, what is your reaction to what you have just heard? A lot of people have been talking about this.
Hey, before I keep going, do you guys know who the Tylers are? I guess I haven't done a follow up on them. I wonder what happened to them because they're like a group that was about black love, black marriage, and they didn't care too much about Ralph Richard Banks's book. Um, anyway, if you guys see a video on them, like a current one, if you could send it to me, because I've been looking for it because I want to see what happened to them. I know Ralph Richard Banks is still married to his wife, but these two, I don't know. Anyway, let's continue.
I just think the book is dangerous and it's sending a dangerous message.
Dangerous?
Yes.
Okay.
I definitely think it is just perpetuating all of the negative stereotypes that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
And now is the time for black people to come together and to work together, not to look outside of our community.
Okay, is she right? Is the book dangerous? Is it time for black people to come together? This was a number of years ago, guys. Is she right? Is that book just pushing stereotypes and just being negative on black people, or is it true? You, I mean, we can look at the data and find out the truth. But why is marriage in the black community not happening? Why is marriage rates going down in the black community so much? And then when you see it, I know there's a lot of black women that are like, wait a minute, maybe is it only for white people? I mean, what's going on? Is it a cultural thing or is it our I don't know. Let's continue.
For the answers.
Dangerous how so? And I want you to answer this because he seems to be putting a lot of negativity out there on black men.
Sure. Well, I think what he's done is created a perfect mechanism to sell books, but not so much to help African American women.
All right.
And I think, that's he's portraying this like this is some type of help tool for them, but not at all. I think anytime when you say that one entire group of people, specifically based on race, is bad and another group is good, then it doesn't make any sense at all. It's not helping anybody. Instead, the conversation should be if.
Okay, let me stop there. I don't think he's saying one race is better than the other. I think what he's saying is here's the numbers, here's the marriage stats. Okay, here's black women moving up in education. Okay, and then you got black men over here, their education level's not as high, and black women outnumber black men. I mean, for black women, it's a numbers game. And how many of these good black men are out there that are highly educated to be at that level? I'm not going to say they don't exist. They do, but it's far and few between. So what's a black woman to do if she wants marriage? Does she wait? Or does she open up her options? I mean, think about this. And tonight's roast show, it's not really a roast show tonight. But these videos, these stats, stuff I'm showing it is holding black men accountable. It's actually roasting them. Because whose fault is it that the marriage rates are low? Don't us as men control marriage? Aren't we the ones that propose to the women? I hear a lot about black love, but is it happening? I hear a lot of these pro-black dudes say it, calling black women queens. Dr. Umar, Dr. Delusion, what's he say? Black queens forever, nobody's never. Black queens forever, nobody's never. What's he mean? He chooses the black woman over the white woman because he's a black man? But is he marrying the black woman? Or is he just having sex with black women and bouncing? Isn't that what you call a pump and dump? So what Umar Johnson said was pump and dump, black queens forever, snow bunnies never? That's what he should be saying because that's what he's doing. And I'm sure this couple here, I'm sure they're, good people and have a good heart, and they don't want to see the black community, that do bad when it comes to marriage. They want to see black families grow, and I'm sure. But what is the truth? What's really happening? And are we afraid to address this? Because for me to bring this up as a white man, you know what they're already calling me? Racist, slave owner, colonizer, evil, fetishizer. But I have a 31-year marriage. Only been married once. Only have kids with one woman, my wife. But I'm the weird, creepy one, right? Okay. It's funny how. But anyway, let's continue.
If there are problems in the African American community, how can we uplift the community? What can we do to show them that marriage is positive, to show them that parenting is positive and where it's at? Instead of, making notions like these that basically just get you on TV, in the media all the time and allow you to sell books.
I think, okay, he says, how do they fix it? I think that goes to the parents, okay? Because children a lot of times mimic what they see and what you teach them, okay? When I was growing up, I knew I was going to get married one day, okay? And I looked forward to that day my whole life till I became old enough I could get married, right? That's what I was raised to do. That's what I was groomed to do, to be a husband, to be a provider. And my family's very traditional. And I see my parents being married. I see my grandparents being married several years. Now, my father was married twice because him and my mother were real young. He married my mom because of me. And my parents loved me, but, he married my stepmother when I was 3, and they've been married till she passed on. But I seen the traditional family. I knew what it looked like. I didn't need nobody on the news, social media, or some speaker to tell me what I should do and how important families are. I was already trained to be a husband and father. So you can't go out and have a program to fix it. It's got to be done within. You got to lead by example because your children are going to follow you for the most part. And if you're not married and you're messing with women, and you know, as a man, if you're doing that, your son's probably going to do exactly what you're doing because he sees you do it, no matter what you tell him. You know, Umar Johnson always speaks a good game about the black family and black women and black men should get married and have families. Sounds wonderful. But he has no credibility because he's not doing it. So his movement over there, there's no example, no positive example. And I think the reason he still gets money and still people follow him is because there's no accountability in his group. But you, as a mother and father, have a big impact on your children. Okay, not to say you could be the best parents and they could go the wrong way. It does happen, but mostly good parents raise good children. Traditional parents raise traditional children. So I think it's within the family. And a lot of black families are single parent families. So it's going to take time. You have to change the whole culture to fix it. And I think opening up your options, I think for black women to do that, I think black women, for the most part, have to have that option open if they want traditional marriage. Because honestly, guys, I don't see how they're going to get it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just, but what I see, I don't know. It just don't look good for black women if they're going to be race loyal. I mean, I'm just saying it. I believe black women are better off opening up their options. I think black women are better off with white men or Asian men than anybody else. And and I'm not saying that because I'm a white guy and I think I'm better, because I don't think I'm better than anybody. I just think we have more of a traditional culture than the black community does in today's world. We're already trained to be husbands and fathers. Anyway, let's
Because
continue.
some of the numbers that he put out there are true. A white woman is twice as likely to get married as a black woman. Some of what he is saying is true, is what you take exception to, what you say are solutions that aren't actually solutions. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Solutions that are not actually solutions. So if it's true, let's get down to why it's true and bring forth real solutions for the black community.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and I think, you know, interracial dating is fine. I think who you fall in love with is who you fall in love with. But again, you know, when you say this group of people, in this particular instance, which is black men, are bad and you shouldn't be with them. And I think the craziest thing about all of this is the fact that he's married to a black woman. So what if she took his own advice? They wouldn't be married now.
So what you're saying is, okay, let me make sure I'm clear. He's saying.
Okay, so what he's saying, if he took his own advice, they wouldn't be married. Uh, Not true, because he's a highly educated man. He married his wife. He stepped up to the plate. His wife found a highly educated man, did she not? So she didn't have to lower her standards. Okay? So some black women will find a black man that's got it together, right? That's up there financially, you know? But by the numbers, most are not finding a Ralph Richard Banks. A Ralph Richard Banks is he's a diamond in the rough. He's rare. Okay. You know, you just don't see a lot of black dudes at that level. Um, he's just, yeah, I call him a diamond in the rough. Kind of like that other, what was Ben Carson, right? that's a diamond in the rough. Um, but that's rare. Um, anyway, let's continue.
Saying, look outside of your race because there's a problem with your race, as opposed to just be with whoever you choose to be with, regardless of what their race is. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's this two-part thing. Part
Okay.
of it is that, and part of it is this thing about the black man being so bad, just perpetuating these continual stereotypes that we've had now for generations and generations. And
Okay. I think he's feeling some emotions because it is a negative thing on black men, and it is. But is it true? This is where accountability comes in, and accountability hurts. Okay, he don't want to hear that black men ain't doing what they're supposed to, and he don't like all the negativity. And I don't blame him. None of us want negativity, but the facts are the facts. Okay, Ralph Richard Banks ain't going and say, well, he's just telling it like it is. Look, black women, you need to look towards white men or other groups of men. You need to open up your options because the marriage rates are low. And if you want that marriage and someone at your level, you might have to look outside your race. But this guy, and I'm sure he's a good guy, but he just don't. I know it's bothering him. He don't want to hear that black men ain't doing right.
the problem becomes when you have people in communities that don't see marriage every day, that don't see those positive images of marriage portrayed, they start to believe things like this. When they see.
Okay, so why are they not seeing marriage every day? See, he's got an excuse, but he's nailing it on the head. They don't see marriage every day. Yeah, you think that's a problem? It sure is. Like I said, your parents will turn out, your children will turn out like you. If they don't see marriages, why are they going to jump into a marriage? If they see men being with multiple women, they're going to think that's what you do. Maybe they should see more marriages. I think that's the problem. He nailed it, but he trying to make it like a little excuse. But I'm not clowning this guy. I'm just saying this is what I see.
Books and they see movies and they see different things, some that marriages for white people, they start to actually get that into their conscious, and then that passes down from generation to generation.
Because there are plenty of positive images of black marriages out there. I mean, we've got the Obamas. I mean,
The Obamas, how is that working out? Everybody used to brag, oh, the Obamas, that's true black love. And, they have been married for a long time. But it seems kind of weird. Are they separated or? It don't seem like it's, I don't know, it just seems weird. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. It just don't seem like the perfect marriage in my feelings. His feelings are hurt. Yeah, they are. Let's continue.
Exactly.
there's Will and Jada. If you don't believe all that tabloid mess is out there.
Right.
Will and Jada married several years, but extramarital affairs, yeah, that I wouldn't count that as a good marriage. I'm just saying.
An interracial couple. There's Iman and David Bowie. There's lots of positive images out there if you choose to see them.
Amon and David Bowie, yes. Hey, they were married till he passed away. Yeah, that's a positive marriage there.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're doing with our website, trying to actually.
And here, and this was the image of black love, because people are saying, oh, I heard black people saying, oh, I want a marriage like Michelle and Barack, that's black love, and look at them, they're so cute, and yeah. Now it seems like they're not really together, but they're still married. I don't know. They're just bizarre looking in from the outside.
build upon those positive images because if you don't see it, then maybe you don't think it's possible to be that.
My opinion, Will should have married Jada. I'm just saying, but they're both a mess, though.
And so it's very important to have those images.
Yeah, and it's just an example. We do documentaries. In our second documentary, You Saved Me, 8 couples, African-American couples from newlywed over 50 years. We premiered it in D.C., sold out over 540 seats in advance of the screening. They had to put up folding chairs down the aisle, I like to say, like church on Easter Sunday. And these people, we're not Spike Lee and Tanya Lewis Lee. They didn't know us by name recognition, but that's how hungry in our community we are for positive.
Okay. All right, that's the end of that video. All righty. Okay. That's the end of my videos. But seriously, my whole point of this show, that dude that made that video, I was going to leave it alone, just ignore it, because it's just stupidity. Okay? This guy, he's a hater. He's a clown. And, he thinks he's superior because he's black. He thinks black people are superior. And he wants racial purity. Okay? And he loves attacking people's wives that he don't know. Okay? He has no character, no class. He's a clown. And he worries about how me and my wife look and calls me creepy. Goes into that, talks about me having sex with a black woman, and that's why I'm black woman crazy, and I'm weird, really? I'm the creepy one, right? Why? Because I say I love my wife? I guess to a weirdo like that, loving your wife would be creepy. Or saying you love and respect black women would be creepy. No. But there he is, the true loser, the hotep hobo, relies on science fiction movies for his facts, and believes anything that's negative towards white people, especially white men. He hates white men. But anyway, enough of that idiot. Guys, my whole thing tonight is I just want to show you people that I'm up against, people that go in on me and try to stir problems. And look, that's just one example. There are many others I just ignore. Okay? And I was just going to ignore this joker, but I just want to debunk some stuff. And I think his whole thing was to bait me in to go over to his channel to be mad so he could get me over there, mute me, and have his buddies jump in and double team me, and then go and say, yeah, I put Roadrunner in my place so he could get some views, and and be a hero to the haters over there. We need a cure for stupid. Yeah, racial purity. Yeah, that's why he said that too. And I didn't know these black nationalists were that bad. I always picture like white supremacists saying stupid crap like racial superiority and I want a pure race. I always expect white supremacists. I don't know. Maybe the black people I've been around don't talk like that, so it seems odd to me, like a black guy saying he wants racial purity, and he talks about white people like they're dogs and cave dwellers, and isn't that what white supremacists did? Talked about black people being like animals and inferior, and I find it ironic. It's like he's a Klan member, but he's a black guy. I'm just amazed. I'm baffled. I can't even get mad at what he's saying because it's so stupid. It don't even make sense. And where he gets his facts are like, what, from the movie Get Out? That's what you're basing your knowledge on? Or some thug dude up there just spewing stuff about a shot? You just go and believe it without research. I mean, but I'm glad I found that video of that doctor explaining what it really is. And it's not a race, it's a blood type. And two black people can have that issue, or two white people, or an interracial couple. And I assure you, my wife never had to take a shot so she could get pregnant by me. we procreated the natural way, and we didn't need no medical help for that. So, and that shot does not make black women sterile. I don't know how that even makes sense. That it's going to allow her to get pregnant by a white guy, but make her sterile. Okay, that just stupid. But stupid people come up with stupid things. Happens all the time. And but anyway, he's a clown in a suit. Yeah, that guy was. But yeah, I woke up one morning. This dude tagged me and had my video up there, and he needs to take it down because it belongs to me. It's not his. Um, you know. But people like that have no honor. They have no respect. And the way he talks about women he don't know. I mean, if a woman's with that dude and they get a disagreement, how would he respect her? What would he say to his wife or girlfriend? Because I don't know if he's married or not, and I don't care. I'm not looking to attack his loved ones, his family. I don't do that. I'm a man of honor. I have respect. I have dignity. And that joker has none of that. And I think anything that is good and anything that has value to him is creepy. I just shared the live stream. Oh, okay. But anyway, I know, I thought about going in just making fun of him and clown him the whole time, but I think it's better to just put out the facts and just, counteract the stupid stuff he's saying. How much of a hypocrite. Mad at me because I did a reaction on some TikTok woman that talked about white men being White Walkers and Neanderthals and, lice babies and all this stupid crap. And I'm not supposed to defend myself on that, but he can go in on my wife and say whatever. I mean, the entitlement is just crazy. But I'm telling you, we need to talk about these issues, guys. I know some of this stuff I put on here, some people are like, you know what? Let's get back to the swirl to investment. Let's not get distracted with this stuff. And I hear it. And I was struggling with doing this show. But I think it needs to be addressed because too many times, us white people, we get caught up in our white guilt and we let black people just walk all over us, disrespect us, and we take it because we feel guilty. And that's not how we should be. We treat black people with love and respect, how we want to be treated. That's what we're supposed to do. But when someone disrespects us or says something that's wrong, we got to stand up for ourselves. Okay? And I'm not saying confront black people, and I don't want to fight. I just want us to have a backbone and say, you know what? Slavery happened, but it's over. I didn't participate in it, and you weren't a slave, and guess what? We're in 2025. Let's move forward. How about that? There's nothing wrong with saying that. None of it, look, we know it was evil. We know it was wrong. But how do you fix something that already happened? And I'm telling you, giving money, reparations, that ain't going to fix it. That's going to cause more problems. You know? If it would fix it, I'd be willing to pay it. You know? But I'll listen to people if they think that's what we should do. You know, I'll be respectful. I'm not going to be. And, you know, there's a way black people could have it if they did it the right way. But you don't. I would say if you went for that, go for education, tax breaks, something the government can actually do that's not going to crush our economy. Because really, black people talking about this, they really don't have the power to make reparations happen. I'm telling you, politically, Democrats, most black people are Democrats. So Democrats think, we own the black vote. And then Republicans, well, we don't really have it, but we're gaining little by little, so we'll chip away. So it really ain't a thing. The prize is the Hispanic vote. The prize is the Hispanic vote. Listen to me. That's what's going to sway elections left or right. It's not the black vote. The black vote's pretty much set. I know things can change, but political, that's the way they look at it. And I'm telling you, black people are losing their political pull because when it comes to politics and politicians, it's all about power. I'm telling you, whether it's right or left, it's a power play. And they're playing with us, the American people. I'm telling you. And this stuff of racial division and crap, that just gives the government more ways to control us. We could be on either side of the aisle, but we got to come together and love and respect each other. Okay? Because a nation that's divided is easily controlled by the government. A nation that's united controls the government. But my advice to white people is stand up for yourself, get a damn backbone, quit worried about being called racist. They're going to call you that anyway. Okay? Not all black people, most black people are reasonable, but there are black people that are going to call you racist just because you're white. So get out of that fear. Stand up for yourself. You can stand up for yourself and be loving and respectful. And that's my advice to white people. And then my advice to black people. Okay, and oh God, I'm stepping in it now. Just realize that white people today are not slave owners of yesterday. We're human beings like you. Okay? Stop, and I'm talking to the black people that do this. Stop being a victim. Okay? The white man ain't holding you back. You're holding you back. Get out there, compete. There's nobody superior over the other. But I tell you, the people that have the superior result are the people that put in the work and do what they're supposed to. And be truthful and honest. Okay? If you're going to hold somebody accountable, you need to hold yourself accountable too. We can't pass the blame. White supremacy ain't causing every bad thing for black people. Okay, white supremacy is not that powerful. It really isn't. Okay, it's powerful if you let it control you. Don't let it control you. Be your own man and woman. Okay, and my advice is quit living in the collective. Be that rugged individual. That's my advice to black people. And I'm not trying to be mean. I mean, I love black people. I do. They're amazing. But I am married to a black woman. My wife's family is amazing. I love them. Okay. And most black people I'm around don't give me no problems at all. In fact, the most evil black people I see is online on YouTube or TikTok. Really, it is. I don't, black people in the real world aren't calling me a fetishizer. They're just not. They're not calling me a colonizer. But just live in the truth. And don't get wrapped up on the social media stuff, okay? Listen to people what they have to say, okay? We're more offended when we don't listen. Hear people out. No, try to understand them. Love each other, respect. We're all human beings here. Skin tone is nothing but how you look. Okay? We can't control our DNA. We can't control our skin tone. We can't control who we are. Okay? So let's just love ourselves and quit doing this. And I'm telling you, things that are going on, I'm seeing I don't like. Okay? That Cincinnati brawl or fight or whatever was going on there, I don't like seeing that. Okay? And I think it was just a couple troublemakers that stirred a crowd up. I don't think it was racially driven. I just don't think black people would just storm on three white people like that. I don't think they would do that for no reason. I looked at that thing and I don't know who started it. I don't. Some people say there were racial slurs said, but I didn't hear no audio. I could believe that was it because I just don't think a white person and a black person getting in a fight that black people would just dogpile the white people like that. I think there was probably, I don't know, maybe there was a racial slur because that would be the only thing that would make sense. Someone say the N-word, that would rile people up. But I don't know. I wish I heard audio. But what bothers me more than that fight out in the street, it's not really the fight that bothers me. It does bother me, but there are troublemakers. There are fights all the time. What bothers me is people's reaction. What bothers me is people taking sides before they get all the facts. That's what I don't like. I don't like people picking sides based on race. I wish people would be more objective and say, you know what, let's find out everything. Because some people say, well, they got what they deserve, and there's some people cheering it on. Yeah, that like you don't know what happened. You weren't there. I mean, I can't. All I could say is it was excessive force. I don't know who started it. I don't know what was said. But if I'm looking objective, all I can say, well, yeah, they went too far beating those people up. Other than that, I don't know who started it. Those white people might have been out of line and just stirred up stuff. But you can't overly beat someone up because of words they say, or because they slap you. You can't just get a whole crowd to beat them to death. I mean, I just. But the good thing is nobody lost their life, and and hopefully we see less violence like that. But really, what troubles me is people's reaction. The ones that are taking side racially, and I'm seeing black and white people do this. I'm seeing black people, oh, they got what they deserve, and then I'm seeing white people, well, we got to protect ourselves, and maybe we should get loud and do what they're doing. And I'm like, stop. This ain't reality every day. This is just an event you saw. And what troubles me is I hate segregation. I do with a passion. I think it's evil. I think it's just wrong to the core. And I hate seeing black communities going all black and white communities going all white. I don't like that. I'm gonna be honest. It just tells me that people don't like people that look different, and I don't like that. And when you see these groups, and you guys have heard this about the people in Arkansas and Missouri and having their white community because that's what they want. And they can do that. Okay. I'm not going to spend my life worrying about what they're doing in their segregated world, but it just bothers me that they would claim to be Christian in doing that. Because Christianity is not a segregated religion. Okay, Christianity is being Christ-like. And that means you tell everybody the gospel. And the main mission is to lead people to Jesus. It's about souls. It's about saving someone's soul. And people have a soul. And you're supposed to give the word to everybody. Being a segregationist and a Christian is a contradiction. It is. You can't do that because you're not doing God's work, separating yourself. You got to spread the word to everybody. And that's what bothers me on that end, because I'm not the best Christian by no means, but I do take it serious. Okay? And my job is to tell people about Jesus and tell people the gospel. That's my job as a Christian. And if I'm not doing that, I'm not being a good Christian. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. And how can you segregate yourself and say you're a Christian? I mean, you could call yourself that, and maybe you love the Lord, but if you're separating yourself, you're not preaching to the world. You're not doing your job. When somebody's born again, they come into the family of God. Your spiritual family as a Christian is other Christians. Some will look like you, some won't look like you, some will speak different languages, some will come from different parts of the world, but we're in the family of God. And our job is to grow our family. And we can't be a segregationist and be a Christian. It just contradicts everything. And you can't be a Christian and hate Jews, because guess what? Jesus was a Jew. All the apostles were Jews. And don't get me started with this crap that's going on. And I'm going to talk about this in my prayer meeting. And I got something to say about Toni Braxton, which I love her. She's got a beautiful voice, beautiful woman. But she said, and it really bothered me, she said to her sister Tamar that, "Why read your Bible is written by racist white men." Let me tell you something. White men did not write the Bible. Okay, let me say this again. White men did not write write the Bible. Okay? Christianity is not a white religion. It didn't come out of Europe. Okay? It came out of the Middle East. They were Jews. Okay? Jesus was a Jew. Let's get that straight. Now, there are white people that are Christians, sure. Just like there are Africans that are Christians, Asians that are Christians, and people in the Middle East are Christians. And there are Jewish Christians. But Christianity is not racist at all. And it wasn't written by racist white men. Stop it. It was written by men inspired by God. And guess what? They were Jewish. So those white supremacists that try to claim Christianity and say they hate Jews, that's not Christianity. That's actually Satan worship. And those that are spewing that false lie that it's written by racist white men, you better repent, because God will not be mocked. Because if you're saying it's written by racist white men, you're saying God's a racist white man. And that ain't true. Stop it. Do your research, get your facts. Where did Christianity start? It didn't start in Europe. Yeah, Europeans manipulated the Bible just like other people do. And yeah, during slavery, yeah, they did. The slave masters did take parts out of the Bible. They took Exodus out because, yeah, I talked about the Hebrews being enslaved by the Egyptians, right? But that's not Christianity. Christianity is being Christ-like. It's about sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ and bringing people to the Lord. There ain't no race on that. That's followers of Christ, which can be anybody that accepts Jesus as their Lord and Savior. So I just want to get that straight. Oh, okay, Alexander, thanks for coming up. Got to get some sleep, everyone. Oh, thank you so much. Good to see you, Alex. You take care, brother. And guys, I'm sorry I'm ranting. And this ain't really the show I wanted. I think this is the show I needed. You know, and I didn't want to show that clown, but I just want people to see what I deal with. He's not the only one doing it. Look, I get people all the time that make their little videos in these little channels and try to stir things up and tag me and tell me, you know, call me all kinds of stuff. And what they're trying to do, really what it is views. This guy, he's a hotep. He wants to, you know, get me mad and angry. And, you know, so he attacks my wife because he probably watched all my videos and knows I love my wife and I speak highly of my wife. So to attack her, to really make me mad. So I go to get me to go over there so he could go and attack me and, you know, mute me and play his games and then, you know, and then say, yeah, I put Roadrunner in my place. I won again. Like he says in the video, he always wins his debates, really. Bethlehem is not Europe. Yeah, exactly. I don't know where they get it written by racist white men. You're telling me Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Peter, Paul were white men? Really? I don't think so. And here's the thing. I don't care what race of men wrote the Bible. If they're inspired by God, I don't care their color of their skin. I care about the Word of God. But, be careful what you say. God will not be mocked. And like I said, Tony Braxton, I like Tony Braxton, but what she said was very disturbing and unacceptable. And her sister was talking to her about going to read her Bible. You tell your own sister not to read the, oh man. That's troublesome. That's bothering. God's word matters, yes. And that's why I wish people would do research before they just say things. People just go off on what they hear and they do no research. And what's crazy, wasn't Tony Braxton's father a minister or something? Wasn't he a preacher? I thought her father was a preacher. Didn't he know the book was written by Jewish people in the Middle East? Didn't he know that? And or did she just not believe what her father told her or what he was preaching? Amazing. But I don't want to talk about all that. But I'm going to talk about it in my prayer meeting tomorrow. Um, and I'm going to try to shoot for noon tomorrow. What do you guys think? Those that want to be part of the prayer meeting, I think I'm going to do it at 2 o'clock Eastern, because 2 o'clock. It's noon my time, but 2 o'clock Eastern. I'll put it out there. We'll go for that time, 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll have a prayer meeting, and I'm going to talk about that. And I'm not going to get angry and go in on Tony Braxton. What she said, she's going to have to repent for that and ask for forgiveness. That's But why did she say that? Somebody told her that's what the Bible was, and she believed it. Guys, always research. Don't believe everything you hear. Okay? And people will take half truths and they'll spin it to what they want it to be. Just like Nerdy Boy over there, he took what that guy said about the shot, and saying that, a white man to impregnate a black woman, the black woman's got to get a shot, which wasn't true. Now, there's some people that need that shot because of their blood type. Okay. And not, some people have that blood type, some don't. And, you know, but they do that to make white people seem inferior. Okay. And the white man, that's the target of these Hotep groups, is destroy the white man. That's their mission. Because in their mind, the white man's the most evil man on earth. And once he's gone, then everything will be, I guess, great. I don't know. But I think that was just to say, well, white men are inferior. The black woman's body will try to get rid of the birth naturally because we hate nature because we're not natural or whatever. But anyway, big muscle is. But anyway, guys, we've been on for 3 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and end this. Okay. And I said, I'll go on about noon. Okay. We'll have a prayer meeting if you guys want to join in. Well, 2 o'clock Eastern. 2 o'clock Eastern. Okay. I'm going to have a prayer meeting tomorrow. If you want to be part of that, you're welcome to join. Okay. you know. But anyway, my whole thing is you know, I want to show you guys a little bit about what I deal with on these haters. Usually I just ignore them. But some of the stuff this guy was saying was so off that I mean, he was deaf. He sounded like a white supremacist all the way. But as a black guy talking about being superior to white people, but the rhetoric was the same. The ideology is the same. And I wanted to show you guys that. And I don't know what it is with these dusties out there that gotta go in on my wife. I just I guess they think that a black woman with a white man's a traitor and they have every right to just say whatever they want. And but when you have no accountability, you have no character, and you have no integrity. And basically, that dude tonight proved he had no integrity. He proved he had no character. And he proved he had no accountability. And he surely proved he hates white people. Okay? And it's amazing how he can go in there and say all this stuff perfectly fine. If I went on tonight and I said, black people this and I'm superior, if I did all that, tell you the next day my channel would be gone. I'd be banned from YouTube forever. See, it's amazing how that clown can say whatever he wants. But yet when I say things, I got to come up with facts. I got to come up with where I found it. I got to be super respectful and I got to prove every freaking word I say. But these dudes could just ramble out anything. And no repercussion. No accountability. Let me tell you something. And I want to say this. The man that's held accountable will do the best. So these people thinking they're going to hurt white men by guilt tripping them and holding them accountable for everything in the world, you're just making them stronger. You're just making them more successful. Because even if you attack me on slavery that I didn't do, I'm going just have accountability where I'm going to say, okay, I didn't do that, but what can I do better? And what can I, and when you're held accountable, you're always trying to do better, are you not? But when there's no accountability, you're never at fault. When you don't have accountability, you don't have to fix yourself because you're perfect. When white supremacy is suppressing you in every way, how can you do better? It's not your fault. If you don't get that job, white supremacy. If you assault someone on the street, white supremacy. And I know that sounds crazy, but a lot of people do that. That dude later on in his video was saying that the reason Mahogany Jackson was unalived is because of white supremacy. He said that. Because white people didn't give those black people a chance and provide them with anything. So it's actually the white man's fault they did it, even though it was all black people. He said that. That shows me no accountability. Because at some point, at some point, you got to be at fault for something. In fact, sometimes it's better to be at fault than not have no fault at all, because then you try to fix yourself. You know? Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this. We've been on for 3 hours, haven't we? I'll drop the link real quick if anybody wants to come up. I'll leave it up for like 5 minutes and then I'll go ahead and shut down. Hey, Honeydew, good to see you. Okay, good to see everybody tonight. Okay, I hope you enjoyed my rant. But I think we need to stand up for the truth. Okay, and don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. And I say this to white people, please. Don't go and just step up on black people and act tough. Just when something's true, just stand up for it. Okay? Be loving and respectful, but tell the truth. And if you don't believe what they're saying, that's okay. Because I think it's better for people to know the truth about you than to believe a lie. And I'm telling you, some things, I know some people wonder, okay, why do you even entertain this crackpot hobo? Why do you even talk about it? Why do you even entertain this Roadrunner? It's just, he's an idiot. You got a good marriage, a good life. Just ignore it. And I get that. And most of the time I do. But I think some things you just got to stand up for, you know? And what that dude did was wrong. He has every right to disagree with me, but it's wrong to go in on people's family, you know? But you can't tell hateful people that. But some things we got to stand up for. You got to know my position, guys. I don't think it's right for me to get here on YouTube and try to pretend that I'm something I'm not for views. And I tell you, look, a lot of people have told me, wonder why I do things. Roadrunner, why do you entertain those idiots that do that? Okay. Well, tonight I wanted to show you what this guy's about. I want to show you what I'm faced with. The BS I got to deal with. Well, I don't really have to deal with it, but what people are doing, the hatred they have for me. And I'm a small channel. I'm not one of these guys that got hundreds of thousands of people, but they're constantly targeting me. I'm constantly getting hate. Why do I show you comments people show me? To show you what I get. A lot of those comments YouTube takes off because they're disgusting and they're hateful. And I know sometimes YouTube takes your guys' comments that I don't know why they do, but sometimes YouTube, Hey, good night, Diamond Lace. Good to see you, young lady. But I do things for a reason. Okay, I want to be honest with you. I want to be real, genuine. Okay, and I let you know I'm a Christian. That's my faith. A lot of people told me, Roadrunner, I wouldn't mess with that. Just stick to interracial relationships. But no, I want to be honest. Okay, now you don't have to be a Christian to come up there. That's your business. But I'm going to let you know what I believe. And when it comes to political things, I don't really talk about politics. I don't like to, but I'll tell you where I stand. And so a lot of people said, no, don't go there, Roadrunner. No, oh my God. People are going, leave your channel, you're going to lose subscribers. And don't tell them you're conservative. Don't do that. Oh my God, don't. But I did. You know why? Because I'm being honest with you. Now, I don't care your political view if you come up here. I will not judge anybody in that way. I will not try to sway you any way politically. That's your business. And I will not cut you off because you don't believe like I do. But I'm being honest. I believe honesty is the best policy. And some people left my channel when I told them about my political views. People I have a lot of love for. That broke my heart. That I'm like, oh my God, it hurt. But I want to be real. I talked to you about when I graduated, how my reading level was at a 6th grade level. I got advice, don't talk about that. Your haters will use it against you. But it's the truth. I had to go back to school to get my reading level up after I graduated high school. I'm not proud of that. But I share that with you to let you know that I'm human and I'm like an everyday guy. I'm not, but I share that to show what having a loving wife that's got your back can do, how you can be successful, how you can improve, how you can self-correct, But I want you to know who I am. I don't share everything about me, but I do share those things. I want you to know where I'm at. And if people hate me because of that, well, they're just going to have to hate me. And I don't want to lose subscribers. I don't want people to leave. It breaks my heart when people do. I take that serious. I take friendship serious. Even on YouTube, and a lot of you guys I'll never meet in person. But I have a connection with you, with your comments, with your love that you show me and my wife. That means a lot to me. And when people get mad and leave, it hurts. It does. It bothers me. And a lot of people say, well, don't let YouTube bother you. People come and go. I just can't. I just can't. Look, when I have a relationship, I take it easy. What, even, just a relationship we have on YouTube. I take that serious. I take what you guys say serious. I don't like to see people leave the channel. I don't like blocking people. Sometimes I have to block people out, and it breaks my heart to do so. Traditional men are mostly conservative. Yeah, they are. But I got some people that, they're on the left. A lot of them, that's okay. Most people I work with are, that disagree with me with politics, and that's okay. I don't hold that against people. I think that's dumb to hold that against somebody. They have the right to believe what they want. But I'm very traditional. I've been raised that way. I'm a Christian. My parents are Christian. Okay. Now, just because we're Christian don't mean we don't make mistakes. My parents were raised in a Christian home, and they they procreated. I can't get it. They procreated before they were married, and here I am. But they self-corrected. They made it right. And both my parents are still in my life. You know, my mom and dad are amazing. Had a amazing stepmom that passed away a couple years ago. I mean, I have a good traditional family. It wasn't always traditional, but you know, but I'm telling you, this is who I am. Okay? I'm an everyday white guy. I'm a middle-aged white guy. And there's nothing special about me. The thing I think special is I got a big heart and I really love my wife and family. And you know, but I appreciate this channel. I appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate you following me, you know? And it feels good when you guys say uh kind things to me and my wife. I embrace that. There's plenty of people that come on and tell me how ugly I am, how old I am, and you know, and attack my wife and but you know what? I'm okay with that because I got a wife that loves me. I got a good family, and you know, I'm enjoying myself on this YouTube. This is beautiful. I love this. And believe it or not, I love the confrontation every once in a while. Today I wasn't really in the mood to go in on this guy because he's just such a loser. Like, really, why even bother? I just want to show you what people are doing, how they're trying to springboard their channel off me, how he's trying to go in on me to build his numbers. I know the game. They try it all the time, you know. Okay, good night, sweet Rose. Good to see you. Guys, I'm gonna have to close this soon. Um, I'm talking so much, and maybe that's the problem with me. I talk a little too much, but I love talking. And when I was dating my wife, we'd stay up all night talking on the phone. When I go see her, I'd talkity, talk. I love to talk. I could talk forever. Yeah, you hear that? My wife says you sure can. You want to say hi? Yeah, but I do. I talk a lot, but I love it. What's that? A good man fights for his family, a great man fights for the whole village. All right, I like that. Yeah. But guys, I love you guys. And look, I don't share things to put anybody down. I'm just showing you where I'm at, what I believe. Okay. And I will never hold anybody's political views or religious views against them. You could believe what you want. That's your business. That's your choice. I'll tell you about Jesus and how you can be a born again Christian. But if you say, no, it's not for me, Roadrunner, I'm say, okay, that's fine. God bless you. I still love you. I'll still be your friend. I'll still be with you. Look, but I want you to know who I am. A lot of these YouTubers, they're you really don't know about them. There's been people that have interracial channels that never interracially dated. People do that. There are women out there that go out there and say they're divestors and never divested. Never even dated a white guy. But they get in because it's something that's trending at the time. It's something that's popular. But I tell you, I'm real. When I say I love black women, I love black women, and my life reflects that. You don't stay married to a woman 31 years if you don't love her, right? You're not going to be married to a black woman for 31 years if you don't love black women, right? Now, you hear Sandy in the background? Uh, yeah, but guys, I thank you for your support, and I'm sorry I got long-winded tonight. Just a lot of stuff on my mind, and you know, and I just I pray for our nation. I pray for the people in our nation. I look, I don't hate nobody. People say, well, he hates black men. No, I don't. Not at all. I just hate how black women are being treated. I hate the fact that black women are the least to be married. I I got a problem with that. And I don't think it's that black women choose that. I think that's just what the hand they're dealt. And I know it's hard to open up your options. And I try to encourage black women to do. I think black women, it's more critical for black women to open up their options than any of us because you outnumber your men by so much. And, in your culture, marriage ain't really a thing. And I know marriage is going down in all communities, but other communities, we still hold on to those traditional values, you know? Yeah, it's disappointment. Yeah, that's what it is. It's not hate. People don't understand accountability. So they think if I say something negative, that means I hate them. No, I don't. My father said so many negative things about me growing up. You, but he did it to correct me, so I would do right. He pointed out my faults, so I would fix my faults. Okay? That's accountability. That's not hate. My father could have said, "Well, son, you're the greatest thing ever. Oh, good job. Oh, you got some bad grades in school. Well, it's the teacher's fault. It's not yours." No. Anytime I messed up, I was held accountable. And that's not hate, that's love. That's true love. You know, the biggest way a man can show another man love is to hold him accountable. If you think of another man as your brother, you hold him accountable when he messes up. And that's not hate, that's accountability. In the black community, black men need to step up. I'm just saying. And you'll say, well, white men do too. Yeah, white men, we need to step up too. But black women are getting the shortest end of the stick more than any other group of women. And to me, it's unacceptable. You know? But anyway, that's just my feelings. But I'm serious about that. Your daddy didn't want to lie on you. Yeah. Yeah. I told my dad one time, I said, I said, Dad, what, when you get married, what if it's a white guy and a black girl? And he says, oh. I said, yeah, like Donna Summer. What if she married a white? Oh, you like Donna Summer? Okay, son, let me tell you something. He set me down, and I'm my little boy, right? I'm just like, I think I was like 5 or 6, right? And back in that time, Donna Summer was a big thing. And this is in the 70s, right? And my father said, sit down, son. Let me tell you something. She's black. She's beautiful. You're a white boy, everyday white boy from New Mexico. And most people don't even know where that is. So, no, you're not going to be with Donna Summer. But I will tell you this. You, I, I believe that you'll find a good wife and everything will work out. And he was honest like that. And of course, that would never happen. She's a grown woman, famous. I was a little boy. That will never work. But I had a crush on her. you know. And then I told my father one time. I said, Dad, because me and my dad, he worked during the week, and on Sundays we'd watch football, and when it didn't conflict with church and stuff. But we watched the Dallas Cowboys. We're big Dallas Cowboy fans. My whole family is, right? Or the Denver Bronco fans. But I watched the Cowboys with my father, right? And I told my dad, I said, Dad, you know what? When I grow up, I'm going to play for the Dallas Cowboys. And like my father always does, he looked at me. He says, Son, you're little and you're slow. You're not going to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My heart sunk. Oh my God. Because when you're a little kid, you have fantasies. But it's true. Look, I'm 5'8". Well, 5'8 3/4". I'm not that big, right? So most likely I'm not going to play professional sports. It ain't going to happen. But as a child, there's a dream, right? But my father nipped that in the butt right now. Look, he told me the truth. He also said he said, Son, let me tell you, you're my son and I love you, but you're no better than any other kid. He was so brutally honest. Oh my God. But you know what? He didn't do it to be mean. He did it to tell me the truth. He held me accountable. He grounded me in reality. But there was always a positive message. Yeah, you won't play for the Cowboys, but I'm sure you'll have a good career. I believe in you. You could. He didn't just totally slam me to the ground. He kind of knocked me down and picked me up a little bit and said, "Okay, back to reality. Here we go." Oh, Michelle Nichols. Okay, yeah, love Michelle Nichols. Star Trek. That was another crush I had. I remember watching that when I was little. Star Trek was the thing, and it used to come on. I think it was like Saturday night at like 10:30 at night. I think it was like Friday night or something. Because the next day I didn't have school, so I could stay up and watch it. And that was my favorite show at the time. And I remember Captain Kirk was the ultimate man. He was a hero. He's a captain of the ship, and all the women liked him because he's a macho guy. You know, and I thought, man, if he could get with Lieutenant Uhura, I was even thinking that as a child. If I was Captain Kirk, that would be my girlfriend, and we would, go across space together, and we'd be the ones leaving the ship while Spock takes charge, and we explore planets. Okay, let me stop. You could have been the water boy. Yeah, I could have with some quality H2O. Yeah, but you know, we got to face reality. And you know what? Some things we won't ever be able to do, but there's some things we do, and God's still blessed me. Um, you know, and I thank my Father for holding me accountable. Because when times get hard and things don't go good and you have setbacks, you know, you can pull yourself up out from the mud and move forward. But if you're one of these people that don't have accountability and think you're the greatest, when you hit the ground, it's very hard to get back up. And it's more devastating. And two, when you have success in your life and you're humbled, you embrace that success. And you also know that it comes from God. I always say this. My failures belong to me, but my success belongs to God. Yeah. God makes everything possible. You know, when I'm following God's word, I do good. When I drift away, I not so good, right? Hmm? Oh, thank you, Corey. Thank you so much. Yeah, I yeah. Well, what that guy say? He said, I served in the military, and that's why I'm crazy about black women because a black woman gave me some sex, and I went black woman crazy. I mean, come on. I was married before I went in the army. Just honestly, my wife is from my hometown. I didn't find her in the army or some other part of the United States or world. No, she's from the same place I am. Uh, yeah. Okay, guys, let me wrap this up. I'm telling you, if you let me, I'll be on here till. And Corey can tell you because remember those shows we did, like till 12-hour shows, those marathon live streams. Hey, nothing's wrong with being black woman crazy. I always been black woman crazy, but I was black woman crazy as a little boy. I mean, it wasn't because some black woman, jumped in bed with me. That wasn't it at all. It was because I love black women. I have as a child. I I thought black women were amazing before I ever thought about anything physical. I mean, seriously. But these hotep idiots like to dream up my life story. I mean, if they had their way, I would have. I would live in a cardboard box, and I don't know what all I would be if they had their choice. But it'd be the worst of the worst, you know. Oh yeah, marathon episodes. yeah, I had to get away from those marathon episodes. Okay, let me go ahead and close this. We've been on 3 hours and 40 minutes. Uh, anyway, I just want to say a prayer before I go, guys, and I thank you for being here. Let me pray real quick. Lord, thank you so much for the ability to have this YouTube channel, this show tonight. Lord, thank you so much for everybody that's part of the Roadrunner family, Lord, that shows me and my wife love and respect. Lord, I thank you for that. And please, Lord, let everybody know that I love them and they are valuable to me, Lord, that I embrace doing YouTube, Lord. And I pray that you allow me to do YouTube more years down the road, Lord, that you give me the strength to do this and the courage, and that I could be a positive image to people, that I could be a blessing. I want to be a blessing to people, Lord. Please let me be a blessing. because everybody here's been a blessing to me, Lord. And I pray that you would uplift everybody here tonight and bless them and their family. And those that aren't here tonight, bless them too, Lord, and their families. And Lord, I just pray you let me have the strength and courage to keep going. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Okay. I love you guys. Thanks for listening to my ranting and my talkity talk, because I can talkity talk. When I talk, and I keep talking, and I talkity talk. And I love to talk. Did you know I love to talk? I do love to talk. And but anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern for the prayer meeting. I'll see you there. Have a good night. God bless.